Let me actually, there you go. Welcome back to the Green Logbook here with Vic. Had the wrong intro on there. That was only used for Sundays, but it's all good. It's all good. Uh, Shout out to everybody out there listening. Welcome to the Green Logbook. Let me open up the comments here. Anubis Moon, thank you very much. Yeah, that's usually one that I use for the military retirement podcast. But it damn sure does wake you up in the morning, doesn't it? It damn sure does. Yeah. So let me adjust this here a little bit. Get some of the background there. Yeah. So today it's all about the reasons why you should start, veterans out there should start a YouTube channel or a podcast or something of that sort. Right. So let me make sure I got all my audio here. Good to go. Good to go. Bam. Bam. All right. So yeah, the comments are open. Here is the link if you want to jump on. Let me throw that up on the screen there. Copy. Bam. Here's a link. Jump on the live stream. If you have a podcast, if you have a YouTube channel, if maybe you've thought about starting something like that yourself, please jump on the live stream. Let's talk a little bit about it, because I'm going to go over how this stuff has really helped me out in the last year, 2 years, really, of starting a YouTube channel, of jumping on the podcast, stuff like that. Let me see if I can do the QR code here. If anybody wants to jump on there, jump on the live stream. Here we go. Try that out. QR code, jump on the live stream. It's right here somewhere. Yeah, right there. Jump on the live stream if you want. So the big reason why I advocate for this stuff, for veterans having their own live stream, their own YouTube channel, is simple. Okay, everybody's got a story to tell. Everybody has a story to tell, and I came across this thought when I sat down with an old veteran, and this gentleman could not remember a lot of the stuff from his childhood. From his early days. He could remember some of the stuff from the war and all that, but in his training, but some of the other stuff he couldn't. And I'm thinking, like, man, this guy has a legit story to tell. If only he would have shared his stories early on when he was younger, when he could remember all this stuff. It would have been awesome to hear. So that's why a big reason why I started documenting all my stuff on YouTube, and a big reason why I tell folks, veterans and folks who are even active duty, hey, share your stuff, share your story, not just for yourself, but for future generations on some kind of a platform. It could be, just writing in a journal, writing a book, just sharing it on YouTube, on a podcast, something like that, because we all have a story to tell. And I think it's necessary to get the word out there. I also came across that same issue, that same thing, when I was talking to my own grandfather about his younger days, and kind of find out he also could not remember. He was in his 80s. He could not remember stuff from his childhood, from his early days. So I'm like, damn, I wish I would have gotten a hold of him earlier on, or wish I would have talked to him years ago to get this information. But man, honestly, the connections I've made while having this YouTube channel, a lot of folks, even folks on here who are live listening to this, a lot of the connections that I've made, just sharing stuff about my military civilian transition, my retirement from the Marine Corps, what I'm doing afterwards, my job as a surface warfare operations and training advisor, federal employment. A lot of folks resonate with that stuff, and a lot of folks reach out. Yeah, so Anubis Moon, yeah, absolutely right. That's kind of expected, being 80, and And I'll be glad to get past 65. You and me both, dude, because I'm trying to take care of myself in any way I can right now. But yeah, I completely get it. That's kind of expected being like 80 years old. You don't remember stuff. And that's kind of me kicking myself in the ass too. Like, man, I wish I would have asked this dude about his like my own grandfather about his experiences when he was younger, about that veteran, about his experiences earlier on in his career when he was younger. Like he could remember a few things. Um, and a lot of these folks, man, these stories are just going to go away with them, unfortunately. So I would say don't let your story go away with you. Um, start start that book or that YouTube channel or that podcast and share your experiences. And it doesn't even have to be like your own like YouTube channel or podcast. Jump on other people's stuff. You know, be a guest on there and share your experience. I mean, there's a ton of podcasts out there. It's so good for connection. It's so good to just hang out with other veterans, people who are, like-minded, who have similar experiences or even differing experiences, right? Get different points of view. Jump on those podcasts, jump on those YouTube channels, and share your story. It's huge. So anybody out there who is listening, I put the live stream link on here if you want to jump on the live stream and talk a little bit about what you got going on in life, things that you maybe want to leave as a legacy, want to share. Uh, Maybe you are in the process of starting your own podcast or YouTube channel, and just share a little bit about that. It's not easy by any means. People start the YouTube channels and stuff and podcasts, and they think, "Hey, I'll just go on live streams or record videos." There's a lot of stuff that goes behind the scenes with that. Um, let's see here. We got euphoric liquid commenting on here. I wish my uncle would have had more people to talk to. Much love for the cause. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I completely agree, man. These older folks that have just stories to tell, and unfortunately, the stories will go with them at some point. So I went to go visit my parents' house. My parents had this big house, big attic, and all that. And I was asking my mother if my grandfather has any old like writings, journals, and stuff like that. He has nothing like that. It's all like just being told word of mouth, like nothing written down. And when I went and approached the man, when I went to go visit him, we sat at his dinner table, and it was just me, him, and my wife was doing something in the kitchen. And I'm like, "Hey, what do you remember about your childhood? Like, what can you tell me about this and that?" And he's like, "Oh, honestly, it's all like very rusty, and things that he hadn't even told my own mother, like his own daughter, right, from his childhood." I was just trying to get like the behind the scenes of his perspective of things, and it just wasn't there. He couldn't remember it. That's why I'm a big advocate of writing things down. I write in this thing every freaking night. I'm on like I don't know how many journals in this year, but I write in this thing every night. And thoughts, fears, successes, failures, all that good stuff that weighs on your shoulders, and just let it go. Uh, and I have all my green law books up there from as is the name of the channel, the Green Law Book, right? I kept them all throughout my 20-year military career because we've all sat in base theaters for back in the saddle trainings and just thought this freaking sucks. So I'm sitting there doodling, I'm sitting there listening, I'm sitting there writing notes, thoughts, ideas, things for tomorrow, things for the mission. And it's fun to look back on that stuff as I get older. It's fun to crack one of these open and see what I was thinking about as a young corporal sitting somewhere in the field, maybe, or going, writing about, hey, tomorrow I'm going on this, 10-mile hike or whatever for morale. So it's fun to write about those things, to read about those things. So I'm curious, anybody out there, if you are looking to leave some kind of a legacy, and it's really about legacy, right? If you're looking to leave some kind of a legacy, some kind of some kind of writing, some kind of YouTube channel, some kind of podcast for other generations to listen to learn about your story, to hear about your experiences, you know, feel free to jump on the live stream and let's talk a little bit about it. Honestly, starting this YouTube channel has been just a complete has helped me out. It's been a de-stressor. I'll put it like that. Just the amount of people I connect with. You got the ones and twos that are always like talking their trash and all that stuff on the comments, and that's fine. You're always going to have that trash. You can always turn comments off on your videos if you want to. I just welcome all comments from all folks. Um, However, the amount of people that I've been able to connect with since starting like the military retirement podcast or the green logbook has been amazing, amazing. So yeah, I welcome anybody who wants to jump on the live stream here. It's fun to talk to folks, especially early in the morning as I'm trying to sip my coffee here. Oh, I still got trash all over the office here. Yeah, so let me know. I was doing some writing. I was reading a little bit about Viktor Frankl and this man's search for meaning. If anybody's ever read that book, awesome book. I read it many years ago. I'm starting it up again. Just pull it out of my library. Just thinking about what is the meaning after you leave military service. When you are in military service, you have a mission, a battle rhythm, something to do every single day. After you leave it, it's like, what do I do now? Well, you have to find your new meaning, right? His situation, Viktor Frankl's situation, was a little bit different. He was, in a camp, Nazi camp. I'm not in that situation. I'm just kind of retired from the military, um, trying to find my way after the fact. Trying to conform to civilian life. And it's been 2 years. This week has been 2 years since I've left the military, since I retired from the military. And it's still a little tough to conform because I do tend to keep to myself a little bit more than go outside. Right? I go out, however, I'm not very talkative with folks. So working on that, and this YouTube stuff has definitely helped me in connecting with other people, not just veterans, but other people who may comment, other people who I've met through the channels, things like that. Not necessarily all military based. Let's see. Anubis Moon thought about writing a book, not exactly about the military, but I keep putting it off. I think that'll be my New Year's resolution. Awesome, man. Awesome. Yeah. Writing a book is not easy. I've been writing like 4 books for the last like 10 years. It's not easy, dude. It's you got to build milestones into your work. Like I will write, I don't know, a paragraph a day or something like that and just kind of keep on track with that. It's just like working out, right? If you don't do it, you fall off the next day, you fall off the next day, and then never gets done. So you just kind of, yeah, you got to keep up with it. But yeah, I'm curious, man, about the book. What's the book about? If it's not military, is it fiction, nonfiction? I'm curious about that. Um, it's I co-wrote one, and it was fun because you get to throw ideas around with, I co-wrote one with my co-host from Military Retirement Podcast. He's an Army Chief Warrant Officer, retired, and things work differently between the Army and the Marine Corps. So we're talking all the time, throwing ideas out there, like what lessons learned. We just went through notes and notes, and it probably took us maybe a little over 6 months between all the editing and all that stuff, and between the collaboration with him and I, and the time difference, because this dude's in Italy, I'm here in California. I'm like, okay, well, it took us about 6 months of just steady work to get all that stuff out because we knew exactly what we wanted to write about. Uh, let's see here. Don't think that not speaking to people like we used to is not just a youth thing. Things are wacky right now, and everyone is trying to not piss off the neighbors. Yes, I agree. I agree. And I very much well know that it's not just a me thing. I understand that, that a lot of folks really, they tend to kind of stick with what they know and who they know. And, you know, um, I go to neighbors' barbecues and stuff like that when I get invited. I just went yesterday to go play a baseball game with a couple folks, at least As much as I could, just play a little bit. It was like a kids versus adults kind of thing, right? With my kids' baseball team, that was fun. They had food out there, was music, cookout, stuff like that. So it was good to connect with folks. Cool thing is, the head coach for my kids' team is a former Marine too, so we kind of hit it off. It was cool. I hadn't seen him since the Marine Corps birthday, so my happy birthday. It was, it's a good connection there, and he introduced me to some other folks that he knew. So I'm like, hey, good to go. Hey, how you doing, et cetera, et cetera. So that's fun. That's fun. Uh, let's see. Oh, Yak 352, man. Welcome, welcome. I think you're new, dude. I don't recognize your name, but welcome. Just got TDIU PNT 3 months ago. Awesome. I'm 55. Spent 3 months sitting on a porch in Florida doing absolutely nothing. I'm enjoying it. Not reading. Not ready to do anything yet. Hey, man, more power to you, dude. That's awesome. If that's kind of a de-stressor and that helps you relax, that's awesome. What part of Florida? I'm curious. You don't have to give me your address or anything, right? I grew up in Florida myself, so I'm curious. I always connect with folks when I see that they're from Florida or from Jersey. I grew up in both spots. It's like the natural migration of growing up in Jersey and then moving down to Florida, right? The villages. Okay. Yeah, I grew up in Central Florida. Central Florida. So right by, if you know where Oviedo is, it's right around there. Um, Let me see. So good, man. Yeah, I just had a conversation. There's a dude who his kid is on my kid's baseball team. He's former Navy, and we just got to talking about this yesterday. He mentioned he knew that I went on a vacation with my wife for our anniversary about 2 weeks ago, and we went to, as my mug says, we went to Guatemala. Awesome place, beautiful area, beautiful people, awesome. Just I really want to go back. Like, it was that good. Like, and usually I'm like, hey, good vacation. Now it's good to be home. But it's like I want to stay out there. If I had my kids out there with me, I'm like, hey, well, let's just stay for an extended period of time. But if I didn't have to worry about school and all that stuff for them. But yeah, he was asking, he's like, hey man, how'd you like it out there? I'm like, good man, it was awesome. He's like, yeah, me and the wife are looking to get away and do something out there, just uh go out for a vacation because we don't usually go out too often. And and I was like, hey, I heard, and we as we got to talking, he's like, yeah, yeah, maybe even move out there. And I'm thinking, I was like, man, yeah, that's cool. I mean, what are you gonna do for work though? Like, work online or something? Get a job? He's like, nah, just hang out. Get a little place out there. His retirement and his disability and savings and stuff will keep them afloat. They'll be fine. And I thought to myself, I was like, man, I'd go crazy. Like, it's cool to like live somewhere and just kind of be there. But if you're not doing anything, like, what are you doing all day? Just walking around, sitting in your house, going to the beach? Like, I'd get bored of that. I couldn't I'm not the dude who can sit at the beach all day. Like, there's people that talk about it. Yeah, let's go I'll retire, sit at the beach all day. I tried that. After like a week, me personally, I get bored. I'm like, I got to find something to do, man. All right, let's see here. Anubis Moon, fiction, like high dark fantasy. I didn't realize how much work goes into it. Yeah, I'm not. I've not read too much fantasy. I don't read too much fiction myself. I mean, this is awesome. It sounds great, right? If that's what you love to do and that's where your passion is, I say, hey, go for it, man. I think the last fiction book I read was, where is it? I got it somewhere around here. Oh gosh. Oh, it was The Long Walk by Stephen King. That's what it was. The Long Walk. Finished that one maybe 2 months ago, and then went to go watch the movie. So, pretty good movie, good book. They don't kind of, as they normally do, they don't like sync up. So different stories, different endings, et cetera, et cetera. I won't spoil it for anybody who hasn't already or hasn't seen it yet. Yak 352, USMC 9091. Awesome, man. Thank you. Semper Fi. Rah. It says he lives at the villages. Cool. Uh, yeah, Stephen King is an amazing author. Yeah. So I don't read too much fiction, but he is one that I always welcome. He is one that I always welcome. It takes a special person, I think, to kind of think out there, and he's very much an out of the box thinker. I did take a writing class, a creative writing class with the Armed Services Arts Partnership. And by the way, this is like free for any veterans or active duty out there. They're spreading across the country. It's called asap.org, Armed Services Arts Partnership. I was an instructor with them a while back for architectural art, but they have this awesome creative writing class, and it's both online or in some area nearby. And just the amount of work. I mean, you're not lying, Anubis Moon. The amount of work that goes into writing a story and thinking about characters and forming the characters' stories, and it was a heavy lift, dude. It was, but it was very much enjoyable, very much enjoyable. And I read a lot about Stephen King during that time. I still have yet to crack open The Shining. I know the movie. I've seen the movie, but have not read the book. So I got that thing sitting on my shelf right there. So yes, the title of the video is of the live stream is starting a YouTube channel helped in ways you would not believe, and this goes with along with mental health. This goes along with mental clarity, connection with folks out there. It doesn't necessarily have to be veterans. I've reached out, or people have reached out to me who are not veterans, who are thinking about joining the military. There are a lot of folks who do reach out about that. They're like, "Hey, I'm thinking about joining the military. Any tips, stuff like that?" I put my email out there, so the greenlogbook at gmail.com. And these folks reach out, "Hey, any tips?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, just do what you got to do in boot camp. After that, just follow orders. If you're given some, follow lawful general orders, and then you're good to go." But yeah, it's not, it's I connect with a lot of folks. So actually, let me put this up here just in case we get new folks coming in and out. Um, Anybody who's interested, I got my link here. Jump on the live stream if you have, uh, if maybe you want to start a YouTube channel, a podcast, or if maybe you, like Anubis here, is looking to write a book. Maybe you want to share your thoughts and experiences about it. All good. Jump on the live stream. The lines are completely open right now. Live stream. There you go. Share it on all channels. So yeah, no, YouTube, this stuff has definitely helped me out, man. Stuff that I usually write on paper in my handy dandy logbook here, stuff that I usually write in here will go into a YouTube channel. I'll use that to kind of create different YouTube channels or YouTube videos, should I say. The other day, like I mentioned, I was reading some of Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning, and it got me thinking. It got me writing, like, what am I meant for? Not everybody has to have an amazing journey. It could be something as simple as, hey, you were meant to talk to somebody about something and help them out through their journey in life. That might have been your meaning in life. But what do you think is yours? Are you looking to share some of your stories from your past experiences? What kind of legacy are you trying to leave, if any? If any. Some folks don't care about legacy, and that's completely fine. but I did like share a quick story about how I was speaking to an old veteran, and he could remember just little. He was probably like 80 years old, and he could remember only pieces of his youth, his experiences. And I'm like, man, I wish it sounded cool, right? When he was sharing it, like the pieces that he remembered. And I'm thinking, man, if this man would have wrote something down, if somebody would have got this dude like 10 years earlier and just like made a YouTube video or a podcast just documenting his experiences, this would have been just something great to leave for the next generation. It would have been something great. But unfortunately, a lot of these stories are going away with these folks, with these older folks, and it's a big reason why. Like I started doing this whole YouTube thing myself. Like I wanted to leave something for the next generation. Um, Anything like a military civilian transition, thoughts, experiences, the journey. A lot of the stuff like skill bridge videos that I made are going to be way outdated here in like 10 years, and that's fine. I'll update them. If I'm still on YouTube, I'll update them at that point in time. But it's the process has been fun, man. It's given me a lot of mental clarity, a lot of room for creative work, a lot of connections, and what started out as a point in my time when I left the military, and I was like, what am I going to do? Do I even have the right qualifications? Am I going to find good work? How am I going to feed my family? Like I felt like the world is freaking coming down on you a little bit, and it's like, okay, well, I'm stronger than this. I got to figure this trash out. And the connections made through this. Just telling people like they're like, hey, what do you do? I'm like, well, I do some consulting work. I do this and that, and I also run a YouTube channel. Or this media thing that I do. And they're like, tell me more about that. What are you talking? What do you mean? What's your channel? I don't like to share my channel a lot, but I tell them, and they're like, it opens up new doors. Like, oh man, we got to connect. Blah blah blah. Not that my channel's huge by any means, but hey, we got to connect. Yeah, let's see. Euphoric Liquid 777. That's a cool name. I'd love to hear some stories. Yeah, yeah. So would I. What stories you looking to hear? I'm curious. Like old Vietnam veteran stories? Cool. Let's see what we got here. All right, currently streaming on the Green Logbook and Military Retirement Podcast. Got my coffee in hand. If anybody else has coffee out there, what are you drinking? What are you drinking? I was thinking about doing just a dark roast, but then I threw some milk in there and a little bit of cinnamon. All good. All good. I'm only on my first cup. It's like 10 in the morning where I am, and I'm usually like on my second or third, but yeah, first cup. Mm, excellent, man. Tis the season, dude. Apple cider. Apple cider. You know what I like to do is when you go like to the apple orchards, go apple picking, and then they actually press the apples there. That's freaking amazing. So there's a little spot over here in SoCal named Julian. They make these pies and stuff like that. They're well known for the pies, but they have a bunch of orchards out there, and you can get some pressed apples. It's super good, super good. Yeah. Yak 352 Coca Cola. Man, I can't do it that early, dude. Coca Cola. Is it just regular? Is it Coke Zero? What kind you got? Cherry Coke, or just go with the OG Coca Cola? As long as it's not like 10 in the morning, and we're like, yeah, I'm sipping on an old fashioned or something. Yeah, then we're gonna have to talk about that. But all right, an original, awesome. That works. So yeah, tell me about your stories. Tell me about any desire to ever want to jump on a podcast, a YouTube channel, and share your legacy, your story, because I'm sure many veterans out there have a lot to talk about. So let's see, euphoric liquid. Too early to say what I'm drinking then. Coffee was 8 hours ago. Oh, okay, okay. So you must be, like, somewhere on the other side of the world maybe. If coffee was in the morning, because 'cause I'm over here on the West Coast, it's 10 in the morning. There's a gentleman who I met at a function at Marine Corps Recruit Depot, San Diego. They had this gala, and they had dinner, and they had, raffles and auctions, stuff like that. And, I met this gentleman there, Medal of Honor recipient, older gentleman, and, there was also a Navy Cross recipient there. But, this Medal of Honor recipient, and I had never seen this dude before, and, very low key, very humble man, older, maybe in his 70s or so. And, come to find out, uh, at the time, this man lived, about a quarter mile from me. Would have never like, so, I would have never thought it, he's, like, short guy, just, like, very personable, very humble, and, I was like, "Hey, let's go have a coffee here at this little coffee shop that we live near." Very cool guy, very cool dude, but yeah, I would have never thought that this dude, for some reason, I was like, "You live a quarter mile from me, a Medal of Honor recipient? What?" Like, "Where have you been? Like, where have I been?" Unfortunately, there's no books written on him, or I'm sure he has journals and stuff like that. He was a former colonel. Um, I'm sure he has some kind of journals. I'd have to connect with the guy again. I know he's still alive. I'd have to connect with him again and see what he's got. I'd like to talk to him a little bit more about his experiences if he's willing to share. I know a lot of folks don't like to talk about those past experiences, but maybe like lessons learned. Maybe like, hey, you've lived way longer than I have, sir. What do you have to share with me about life, about what a business, passion, about your purpose? What do you have to share with me about that? Um, yeah, this it was cool to meet this guy. Let's see if I can find him on here. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, Vietnam War. Here we go. This is cool. This is cool. Let me share this thing here. Bam, share screen. This gentleman here, Mr. Robert Joseph Madruski. I'm sure I'm butchering his name, unfortunately. Colonel. I would have called attention to orders here, but I'm not going to read it all. I'll let you all do that if you'd like. But yeah, this gentleman here, got to meet this gentleman here. Very cool, very awesome, very humble dude. But yeah, lives about a quarter mile from me. I would have never thought of it. So, what is your story? Let's pick somebody from the audience. I don't want to just pick somebody. Anybody out there who's willing, who wants to share. What is your story? When did you serve? Comment and put it in the comments. What service? What branch did you serve in? What years did you serve? And if you didn't serve, if you're just civilian, you maybe non-military, just stopping by. What what pushed you to kind of click on this and just kind of watch the video, like what the live stream, jump on the live stream? What prompted you to do that? I'm curious. Comment below. I'm almost at the end of this coffee. I might have to make myself a little bit more here shortly. And I recently reached out to another Medal of Honor recipient. I'm still waiting for an answer back on that one. If I do get an answer back about uh, an article that this person wrote, Dakota Meyer, right? He wrote an article um, on his uh, on his Substack, and I was curious about it. I'm like, hey, look, would you like to stop by the YouTube channel, the podcast, and just let's talk about it. And nothing good or bad or anything like that. I just curious about his mindset, and I firmly believe that a good leader, a person who genuinely wants to learn, will listen to all sides of stories, right? Even if you disagree, like tell me where your point of view is coming from, because I really want to learn. And whether I disagree or not, I really want to know where his point of view is coming from. Air Force, there we go. 2009 to 2012, Anubis Moon. Thank you, man. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you for your service. Air Force, Coast Guard. There you go. Boston Brahab. Welcome back, man. Always good to have you. 99 to 25. Awesome. Yes, so today's live stream is all about YouTube or even a podcast, how that has helped me immensely in my uh, mental clarity, in my way forward, and understanding where I want to be, understanding what I want to do, who I want to connect with, what my purpose is, where my passions lie. Um, and honestly, it's been an incredible journey. It's been a tough journey because sometimes I don't know what the hell kind of video to make. Sometimes I don't. There's technical difficulties, as we've seen here in the past, where I did the live stream and my audio just completely went blank. Um, but yeah, starting one is not easy, a YouTube channel or a podcast. However, what I found was it is really a great way to share your story, to talk about what you've done in the military, to talk about your life after the military, to talk about your journey, to share that with the next generation, to kind of put it all out there. It's almost like a digital form of just writing, right? Instead of just writing something on paper. Right? And like I mentioned, I write in this thing every night. I just change out the inside, the uh, the notebook. I always got the leather cover on it. Uh, just feels nice, just smells good. So I write in this thing every night, and I put things in there that are kind of weighing on my shoulders, thoughts, ideas, um, objectives, and business ideas. Just throwing things on there. I'll even share something with you here, and um, this might be a little bit much for folks there, but I I was hitting a slump at one point, and I'm like, okay, what the hell am I doing wrong with myself? Like, what do I need to make? I just couldn't pinpoint where I was going wrong. Like, I wasn't feeling good. I was constantly, like, my head was hurting. I was like, all right, well, let me figure out, how much junk food I'm eating, how much water I'm drinking, how much sleep I'm getting. And I built this I built a habit tracker, right? It's got all these graphs and stuff like that. I built this thing just to kind of track my own stuff, like what I'm doing, how often I'm drinking coffee, water, how often I'm snacking, working out, walking and running, how much money I'm spending, how much I'm reading every day, how much I'm writing, am I taking my vitamins, my medication, how much time I'm spending on social media, how many hours of sleep I'm getting every night, um, memorable moments throughout the day. Uh, that really kind of opened my eyes to like where I actually am in life. And I did notice, like, hey, maybe I need to drink a little bit more water if I have a damn headache, or, I guess if you got headaches, the doc will tell you to change your socks too. Um, but yeah, it opened my eyes to a lot of stuff, and and I talked a little bit about it in another YouTube video, and I haven't yet done this because I'm going to start a new habit tracker for January, and maybe I'll make a video on that one. This one right here was kind of a little, I guess, in depth, like a little personal. So I'm like, I'll keep that one. I'll do another one in January um, for folks out there for another video. Uh, let's see here. D Forest 921 D4. Hey man, just jumped in. I remember Robert Eidson shouted you out and I subscribed. Thank you for your service. Hey, I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Yeah. How I got to connect with Robert again, man. Old Rob, how is he still making live streams? He's still making videos? I know he's talking all about his business endeavors, and his big video was the one where he like filmed himself packing his stuff up, and he's like, "Yo, I just quit today because I'm tired of giving this organization my time when I can actually be making money with my own time instead of providing them my time." So, and then he went off and he's, supposedly, I think he's doing great things. I hope he is. So, old Rob, I'll have to have him on the podcast sometime. But yeah, I don't think he's making videos much anymore. He went back offline. Yeah, so I know he's talked about that in the past too, like he's taking a break and all that stuff because it can take a toll on you mentally. Um, and I guess it's kind of a double edged sword, right? Like the the title of this live stream is starting a YouTube channel help me in ways you wouldn't believe. So like it helped like my mental clarity, my mental health and stuff like that. It helped me push forward. But then at the same time, and I'll even show you here, my that's my phone right there. I don't have social media on my phone. I took it off, right? Because and that's the home screen there. I took it off because I just I couldn't take it anymore. It was overwhelming the amount of I would turn off notifications, but then I'd always pop on there and go on Facebook or Instagram or something like that. It was overwhelming, and I found myself kind of like getting that FOMO, that fear of missing out. So I was like, you know what? Let me just go cold turkey and just take this trash off my phone. The only way I can access it's from a desktop. And that's it. And every so often, I'm usually on the computer just about every day, just doing some work stuff because I do some consultations, coaching, and now I also do the YouTube stuff, right? So I find it fun. Uh, it's kind of like it gives me a recharge, I guess you can say. Just kind of get on here and edit videos and record stuff because I do love doing that. I think that's where my heart lies is with helping folks out in the veteran community. So it is a recharge for me. But just having it on my phone and just accessible at all times it was just a drain. And I've even gone to the point where I would just leave this at home, and but then I kind of felt empty without it because I'm like, what if something happens? You kind of need it for emergency purposes. So playing with the idea of getting a flip phone and getting something that doesn't have all the apps and stuff on there, playing with the idea. It's kind of hard to do that, but step one, get all the other stuff, the social media off the phone. Let me see. All right. Had to yell at the kids real quick. Let's see. Let's go to comments. Brother, you inspired me to create my channel. I retired 22 years and now I'm in college again, finishing my bachelor's and building my business. Awesome. Now I interview my veteran peers on campus. Love it. Freaking awesome, dude. That's awesome. Applause to you, my man. Ellie Gonzo 6056. Um, keep going. Keep going. Keep doing it, man. Because share those stories. Because like I've mentioned before, once those stories are gone, once those folks that hold the holders of those stories, once they're gone, they're gone. And quickly shared a story about my own grandfather. I went and sat down with him at his dinner table. He was 83 years old. He couldn't remember a thing about his youth and a lot of stuff. Like he was a very quiet man. He didn't share a lot of stuff with my mother. So I'm like, well, I wish I would have asked him this stuff when maybe like 10 years prior. And then again, a another gentleman who was probably about the same age, late 70s or so, who was, I believe he was a Vietnam veteran or so. And this gentleman was like, yeah, he just couldn't remember a lot of the stuff, only like snippets of his military career when he was young, because it was so long ago. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, man, if only somebody would have sat down with you like 10 years earlier and shared your story and just asked you questions, or like helped you ghostwrite some kind of book or something, right? Or made a YouTube channel about your experiences, man. We really need this stuff for like the next generation. Mm, let's see. Until they fix the non-American junk on there, that's just meant to piss us all off. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff on social media that just meant to piss everybody off. A lot of stuff, man. That's why I don't frequent it as much anymore. Um, and you know what's funny is my brother, he just had a somebody hacked into his Facebook account, and they started asking um, the some of my family members who are very old, right? They started calling them and acting like it was him, and acting like it was my brother, asking him, "Hey, can you give me like this information, that information?" And they volunteered that information to him, and it just kind of pissed me off. Like, man, at that point, just get the hell off of social media, because it's there's too many damn hackers. I log into Facebook this morning and I've got like 3 notifications. Oh, somebody has tried to hack in, but we stopped them. Somebody has tried to hack in, but we stopped them. From like Portugal and Jordan and I don't know where Brazil. I'm like, what the who why? What? Might as well just delete this trash. Um, let's see. Became Austin. Hey, welcome, welcome. Walmart sells foot foams. Hell yeah, they do. They sell everything out there. I might just have to go pick some up, man. For real though. Like I was going through my drawer. I'm like, okay, well, I got this. I'm not going with like no iPhone 17 or anything like that. I'm like, this one's like a 14. And then I went into my drawer. I'm like, damn, I have this old iPhone here. It probably it's probably not going to get any updates. I don't know what it is, and it's all cracked and and trash. But I just don't want to be able to. I don't want any more distractions. That's why like my drawers now are just like I own 3 colors of shirts, like black, gray, and white. That's it, and then I can just kinda go from there. Um, it just makes life a lot more simple. Like, all the other shirts that I had that I would never wear, just donate them, and then normally I just have these. Every so often, I'll have, like, a color shirt out there somewhere. Let me see. Flip phones are awesome. They were top of the line at the time. Yeah. Remember those old Nokia phones with the, antenna you can switch out with the colored antenna? And people just go crazy, and then you get you get a call and everything else, like your TV starts going "dit, dit, 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 dit," making those little noises. Yeah, the old Nokias too, man. Those things are like bricks. Or maybe I'll get like a Zach Morris phone, like those like this shit right here, like the VCRs that you put up to your head. Yeah, we could swap closets and probably not notice. Isn't it like so refreshing, dude? Like when you have to go and like just got to get ready and just like grab a black shirt or a white tee or something and just throw like a jacket on it. It goes with everything, and there's like no thinking involved with it. Just grab it and go. I don't know if you want my hair, dude. I'm going. Yeah, Eh, give it a few years, it won't be there. Don't know if you want that. But yeah, here, I'll throw this up on the chat real quick. Anybody out there, if you want to share your journey, your story about potentially maybe starting a YouTube channel, starting your own podcast, jumping on a podcast, sharing your legacy, sharing your journey, military to civilian, or if you've never served in the military, that's fine. Your experiences as just going through life. If you want to share anything like that, jump on the live stream. Jump on this online, just like staring at myself, talking to myself. There we go. And there's a link. And I made a quick switch to a different streaming format, so it should be a lot easier to jump on it now versus what it used to be. So let me do this. And then anybody out there who maybe you have, yeah, there you go. So where is it? This QR code right here, and that is for the live stream. If you want to jump on the live stream, just give that thing a click or whatever and jump on it if you so dare. But yeah, man, mental clarity. So there was a time where when I first started the channel, it was getting some crappy comments on there, stuff like that. And sometimes that stuff sticks with you, right? But then I got to thinking, like, who the hell are these people, for one? Like, I've never met them, these random YouTube names. Don't know anything about them. So you can just delete that trash. Don't let it get to you. I know a lot of people, they get hurt feelings over that stuff. It's like, well, you never met these folks. Legit that you're putting out good information. And if you are, then you shouldn't have to worry about that stuff. It's all about connection. It's all about sharing stories. And I see this as kind of sitting around a table with other folks, maybe at like a diner or something like that, and just sharing some coffee, chilling out. That's why I do this live stream. Easy as that. It's like almost like talking to old friends. We got like Boston Rob on there who jumped on. We've had him on the live stream, I don't know how many times, two, 3 times or so. Good to see him back. So it's almost like I know a lot of you folks. And yeah, the military retirement podcast that I run that thing on Sundays. It's only Sundays. We do a live stream. My co-host lives in Sicily, retired Army Chief Warrant Officer, and we just run that thing together. Don't even remember how we met. I think I was on his podcast at one point, and then we just kind of like hit it off from there. And it was cool. It's like, hey, let's grow this thing, man. Let's do it. And so we did. We started jumping on different podcasts and all that together, and doing our own podcast on Sundays with live streams and guests. Yesterday we had Dennis Spohn, the CEO of Veterans AI, Veteran AI, and this dude he has helped 25,000 veterans so far. 25,000 veterans, and completing their VA disability claim. And he built this platform, this website. It's just veteranai.co, where you just answer questions, upload some documents, and it'll generate your VA disability claim for you to submit it. All the legwork's already done. You just submit it. He does Nexus letters, the buddy letters, and all that stuff. Well, not buddy letters. He does Nexus letters. Awesome stuff. He's trying to get in with the VA, potentially get a contract with them, because I mean, if this dude has helped 25,000 veterans, and when I first talked to him earlier in the year, he was just starting, and it was just him, and now he has a team working with him, and they spend a lot of money on this stuff, a lot of their own money, and it looks like it's working. I got to believe that if they're helping 25,000 veterans so far, that something's working correctly. So definitely check it out, veteranai.co. And he just dropped if anybody out there is looking to get in with that, um, he left us a discount code, a coupon code, MRP50, MRP50. Let's see here. Let me pull it up, put it up on the screen. I know I got it. Yeah, so it's veteranai.co. And oh, here we go. Use that code MRP50 and that will get you 50% off of his pro version of the VA disability version that he has. And just MRP is Military Retirement Podcast 50. That'll just hook you up 50% off there of doing your VA disability claim in your Nexus letter via AI and the system that he has built. So very cool stuff. Let me pull up his website. So this dude has a serious mission to do all this stuff, man. He is just making it better. Like when I first went on his website, I'm like, okay, it looks pretty good. Now it's like legit, like it looks very good. Here goes. Bam says, where are you? Here you go. Veteran AI. So this is what it looks like. Veteran AI, veteran claims powered by AI. Nice, clean, looks good. Injury statements, buddy letters, Nexus letter generation. Generates professional Nexus letters that establish a connection between your military service and medical conditions, boosting your claim success. BAM says, empowering veterans with essential tools, privacy focused statements and letter drafts, veteran chatbot. So he did mention that a lot of folks use that veteran chatbot and just kind of converse back and forth with the chatbot and just get more information. Low cost, latest AI, veteran owned and operated. They work with VSOs, accredited agents, partners, and using that code down below, MRP50, he will give you 50% off of this, $25 a month. And that is including all this stuff, claim reviews, one statement, buddy letter, limited 6 access, email support, then 40 statements, 10 Nexus letters, 40 buddy letters. So very, very cool stuff. Definitely check it out. Use code MRP50. We just had him on the show yesterday, Military Retirement Podcast, and this dude shared all that stuff. And I just kind of put him on the spot. I'm like, hey, we got listeners here. We got anything for our listeners? He's like, 50% off. I'm like, let's do it. 50% off. Let's see who we got here. Marnie Jackson. Welcome. I enjoyed the Sunday live on the Military Retirement Podcast. I wasn't on the live. I enjoyed listening to all of you and Dennis explaining his concept and dream. He honestly wants to help us. He really does. It comes from the heart. It really does. And you can really tell somebody who is in it for the money or in it because they love it. And I firmly believe that this man does love what he does and does genuinely want to help veterans. So I know folks out there who are just in it for the money, and that's, things like that don't last because your passion and your purpose don't mesh well with the people you're trying to connect with. Let's see, Gunnery Sergeant, welcome back, Gunnery Sergeant. I saw that you liked that that photo I put up on the post of my new YouTube setup. Me and a phone like this, staring at it. Veteran AI, I did a lifetime membership because it is just started and it will only get better. That's correct. It really shines if you upload your decision letters. It analyzes them. It explains denials. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thanks for jumping on that, man. It's it is only going to get better. It really is only going to get better. This dude is constantly updating and doing stuff with code. He as far as the technology aspect, man, this dude is like light years ahead of me. But I really appreciate what he's doing and knowing folks like that. And I did tell him, like, hey, don't forget about the little people when you get up there, man. Don't forget the little people like me who are just, just wanted to connect with veterans. I'm not doing any kind of technology based veterans AI disability claims and stuff like that. Let's see. What about policy positions? Any you want to shout out? Any elephants in the room? Local politics? Anything stand out? Let me see. The one I'm following closely is the Forward Act. It hasn't really moved yet, but essentially what it would do is it would give military retirees, and it would give 100% VA disabled. I think they have to be PNT. It would give them access to contribute to the TSP again. So I was a big fan of the TSP when I was in. When I got out and I got a federal position, I started the TSP again, and I was maxing it out for several years. And then when you leave service, you kind of cannot contribute to the TSP anymore, which is unfortunate because that's something that I really learned. I can learn other things. Was it 401ks and all that stuff? But I'm like, I really got immersed in the whole TSP world. And then there's like Facebook groups out there for like strategies. I never did the strategies because I didn't want to continuously keep changing things like that. But yeah, I'm definitely keeping track of the Forward Act because once they open that thing up, I'm rushing to contribute my retirement pay to the TSP. Let me see. There's one since I live in California. There's another one that I was talking to. What's his name? Senator Archuleta about. I reached out to this man on Instagram about SB 296. SB 296. So that is the property full property tax exemption for disabled veterans. So you have to be 100% VA disabled, PNT disabled in the state of California for that one. And for some reason, like I was watching it, for some reason they just tabled it for 2 years. I was wondering why. What exactly does that mean, right? I'm not politically savvy or anything like that. So what exactly does that mean? And I reached out to him, and he was, gracious enough to answer back via Instagram. And just still have yet to get an answer though, because sometimes they don't return calls. So still working on that one, but that one's SB 296. And I'm curious, Euphoric Liquid, is there anything that maybe you're tracking, any policy positions that you may be tracking that you want to bring up? Maybe we can look it up right now and check out statuses and talk a little bit about it. Let's see, D Forest. I hope you keep doing these live streams. I'd love to pop on sometime when I'm not at work. Absolutely. I'm doing them Mondays and Wednesdays. I think the last week I did 9 straight days of live streams. And to be honest, like staring at a screen for like 3 hours at a time for each live stream, like my eyes are going to start bleeding. So I had to take a break from that and enjoy life outside these 4 walls. So, but I do enjoy it. I love connecting with veterans, especially when these folks, when you folks jump on the live streams and tell me, just connect face to face, almost virtually face to face, I guess. It is fun. It makes all this stuff worth it. And D Forest 921, I'm curious, like, I get the YouTube analytics and it tells me when like folks are online most and all that stuff. But and this is for anybody out there listening, really, is there a better time that you think works better for the audience to jump on? Because I know a lot of folks are saying, oh, I can't jump on because I'm at work. And I completely understand that. I got my work stuff open on this side and I got my live stream open on this side of my monitor. So I completely understand. A lot of us are at work. Is there a better time that works for you all where you can potentially jump on live streams and maybe talk and give you guys the platform to kind of just converse? Is there a better time for you all? And there you go. That is veteranai.co, 50% off MRP using code MRP50. MRP50. Really easy. Let me take that thing off here. So yeah, as the topic of the day is, as you see it on the YouTube channel, starting a YouTube channel helped me in ways you would not understand. And this goes back to mental clarity, mental health, connecting with folks, sharing my story online, jumping on other people's podcasts. I've jumped on many, many podcasts just to kind of talk, converse, interview, and share my story because it is not that I have a great story to share or anything like that. It's just fun to connect with folks. It is, f- it's, I firmly believe it's good to share your journey. It doesn't matter if you were a combat veteran. It doesn't matter if you never served in the military. I firmly believe everybody's got a story to tell. I firmly believe that. Let me take this thing off the screen here. Here we go. Let's see. D Forest. That's cool. I'm not a veteran, but I have so much respect for you all. But would still like to converse anytime Monday through Friday. After 3 p.m. would be best for me. Is that 3 p.m. Eastern, Pacific? Thank you very much, D Forest. That's awesome. Scheduling ahead. I saw earlier today that you were going live at 12:30. So, okay, so you must be on the East Coast then. So I could plan to come in at lunch. Okay, right on. Yeah, Eastern. Okay, yeah, that's awesome. And I appreciate that feedback because I just launched it at 9:30 because I'm like, okay, well, I have some downtime around that time, right? 9:30 to maybe about 12 or so. And then things start ramping up in the afternoon again and really starts ramping up in the morning. Um, so I usually have some time, but I mean, I can adjust, depending on what time folks are available. Easy, easy. Um, yeah, going to the title of this thing. The YouTube channel definitely has helped in connecting with other veterans, with other folks, business leaders, CEOs, or maybe even somebody who wanted to discuss their successes in life, failures in life. Uh, Talk to folks, sergeants majors, generals, all the way down to folks who did one enlistment. Or I even had somebody who talked to somebody who got kicked out of the military, um, and that's fine because everybody's got a story to tell. Why not? Why not? And as I mentioned at the beginning, I was just cracking open Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning. Okay. And though his experiences were a little bit different, he was in the Nazi camp. I have zero experience with that, only through reading, but it does kind of touch on finding your purpose, the reasons why we're here, sharing your story. And I'm completely glad that he shared that story because it kind of gives me a glimpse into who he is. Let's see here, I'd say that varies as different time zones with me, and I never know. But I will surely try to remember to catch your live since you are doing them Monday and Wednesday around midday. Absolutely, yes, I will be here. Just talking about whatever topics come to mind. A lot of the topics that I bring up are things that I've written in my journals the night before, or maybe that have been kind of um, people I've been asking about, or things, conversations that come up. I'll form a YouTube video or kind of live stream around that. DeForest, awesome. What state or region are you based out of? I'm in California. California. Not the most veteran friendly state by any means, but you know, this is home, and it wasn't my first choice, but I did mention to my wife, we will move where you want to move after I leave the military. I did tell her you followed me around for 20 years, you know, moving PCS moves, different duty stations, finding new work everywhere we went. and just trying to gain some kind of something that resembles stability that I will adjust for you after I retire. So that's exactly where we are, and we landed here because of her job, and you know, my kids love it. I'm okay with it. Though I could have a little bit more land and more trees, uh, but that's okay. That's okay. I did like uh, I did like my time over in North Carolina, and that was nice. We had a place out there. It's about a quarter acre and a lot of forest, like forested backyard. It was nice. I did like that. I would move back to North Carolina in a heartbeat. I would. Yeah, Marnie Jackson would love to hear some of your deep thoughts in your journal as you choose to share. I journal also. However, I stopped, but I need to start again. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I will share some. Give me one second here. I read a book back in the '90s. Something about every person being part of your story you were supposed to receive and process. I like the idea. I do euphoric liquid. I do think about that a lot. Everybody that you come across was meant to be a part of your life story, your life journey. I also think about, and I brought it up to my kids and stuff, and they're always like, "What the hell are you talking about, Dad?" But it's always amazing to me how anytime I go out, you always see somebody you have never seen before, and every single person you come across has their own life story and life journey. Um, it's just it's hard to kind of just think about that because it's so immense. But it's true. It's true. Yeah, Marnie. Yeah, some land and trees are good. What part of North Carolina were you live in? North Carolina. I was over in Eastern North Carolina. I had purchased a place over in Jacksonville, North Carolina. Jacksonville. So it was right outside Camp Lejeune. I mean, it wasn't anything like glamorous or anything like that. I mean, probably the coolest thing about it is like Western Boulevard, and that's where like all the shops are. It's the main road, right? The main road down the strip there. But outside of Jacksonville, there's so many places to go. Like we would always go to Wilmington. We'd always go to uh, Asheville, North Carolina. Hendersonville is one of my favorite places in North Carolina. Hendersonville, North Carolina. I love that area. I would buy a place out there. And it was like right next to this town called Bat Cave, North Carolina, which is cool. um, let's see. Yeah, never been to Cali from Massachusetts. Yeah, Cali's not bad. It's not bad. I got sent here my first duty station and kind of liked it. And then ended up meeting my wife, and then we've been together for 19 years. So um, kind of kind of married into it, I suppose, right? Mm, Let me see. So let's go into some thoughts on journaling, some thoughts uh, into why I do it. Okay, big reason is getting all the weight lifted off your shoulder, right? Same way, like I shower every night to get all, I guess, the day washed off my body, right? So I can get into bed clean. Same way I do that, I kind of use my journal as a way to shower off, like clean my mind a little bit, put everything on paper, get it off my shoulders. So I sit there and I have let me see. I take my usually I write with a fountain pen because I like to write in cursive in my journals, but I'll take my fountain pen here, um, and either I'm sitting here at my desk, and I always have some kind of a candle lit as I'm sitting here, and especially at night, I'll kind of turn off all the lights, kind of get myself in the mood to want to write. Sometimes I'll put a little bit of lo-fi music if I need to, just kind of get ready for it. But it's all about the day. It's all about my thoughts, ideas, things I wish I would have done better, how I can become 1% better the next day, or the next week. Things like how I can become a better father, a better husband. Um, I do write a lot about things I notice. Maybe some lady walking out of the store and I noticed something about her or somebody. I did write about how I held the door open for a lady at one point and she yelled at me saying, "I can hold my own door, thank you." So I just let the door go. So, just the day's experiences. But I find that uh, it has made me more aware of things, made me more aware of my time with my family, my surroundings, what really matters. And I keep all my journals itemized on my shelf. I still have about 20 plus green logbooks that I keep from my time in the military. For those out there who don't know, and the name of the channel is called the Green Logbook, and you see the little thing right here, right, the little logo. So in the military, in the Marine Corps, I don't know about other services, right, but I know in the Marine Corps they give you a green journal, just a book, right, same as a what's it called, like a moleskin or lecturum. They give you one of those about the same size, by 5 by 8. And in there, you're expected to write, your daily mission, your taskers, um, anything really. I mean, it's just a blank book. So I chose to write ideas and thoughts and experiences and check boxes with taskers assigned next to them and reminders, like all of the above. I chose to write all that stuff of mine, and I've kept them I've kept all of them. They all have a date on there for the entire time I've been in the military. I served for just a little bit over 20 years, and through that time, I have 20 something plus. I usually go through one every maybe 10 months or so, maybe once a year or something like that. Because I do write small, and I usually like cut the page off and write a line, and then start a new entry there if I didn't use the whole page. But it is a good way to look back on it. And partly I do the writing as a way to leave something to my kids. Um, so stuff like we've all heard of like Leonardo da Vinci, stuff like that, right? How he's left his notebooks, his writings, his journals, and as you can see, pictures here, right? I'm in the same kind of mindset, right? Like I want to leave something for the next generation to read about, thoughts, ideas. Not that I'm this remarkable person, or I'm not Leonardo da Vinci, but it is cool to just kind of leave something behind. Um, because I shared a story here where I spoke to my grandfather. Share a story where I spoke to my grandfather and he couldn't remember anything from his childhood. And he was a quiet dude. He really never told my mother anything. Not a lot of stuff, right, that she could remember. Um, and I really wanted to get his perspective on things, and he just could not remember a lot of stuff. And I'm like, damn it, I wish that somebody would have asked you, or if I wish I would have gotten a hold of you 10 years earlier and just sat down with you and just wrote down your thoughts, perspectives, and stuff like that. And it was just too late. He just couldn't remember. He had no journals, nothing written down. I mean, he was like 83. He didn't have a YouTube channel. He didn't have a podcast or anything, right? So I got to him too late, and it kind of opened my eyes. Like, man, I don't want that to be my story. Where it's like, damn, I wish I knew more about dad, from my kids. So that's why I decided to kind of put everything down on paper, or as much as I could, right, on paper. Um, Sometimes I don't feel like writing, so I'll just write something short, like a little blurb, a couple sentences. But I make it a point that just about every night I write stuff down. And I don't like to use, like, I have the notes app. We all have the notes app on here. I use it very, very sparingly. What I do carry around with me are um, smaller journals like this, like that, like field notes. And this one's a green leather one, so made by Jarhead Leather, active duty gunnery sergeant in the Marine Corps. He does these by hand, so these are very cool. Yeah, but you'll be hard pressed to find me without something to write in, without a pen or something like that, anywhere I go. So hopefully that answers some of your question. Um, I think it was Marnie. Yeah, hopefully that answers some of your question because writing stuff down, leaving something for the next generation is huge, and that's a big reason why I started this YouTube channel. That's a big reason why I'm doing the podcast. I learned so much in my time going from military to civilian that I just feel like it would be a disservice to folks out there, the next generation, to not share this stuff with them. Let's see, going back over here. Euphoric liquid. Yeah. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah. 19 years married with my wife, and she has put up with me for 19 years. So with this knucklehead, Marine who, yeah, I've, I won't share that stuff. I made some terrible decisions in my past, and she is not terrible. There's nothing bad, but she has just stuck through at my side with me. So thankful for her. Let me see. I used to live in Raleigh. Yeah, Raleigh's nice. It's not bad. I've been out there. Drove through that a couple times. Let me see. Marnie Jackson. The trails and rivers great to hike. I don't care. I don't care for California anymore. I grew up there. I do miss the weather. Yeah, it's not bad out here. So, um, again, I love North Carolina. I love the whole Blue Ridge Mountains and all that stuff. Um, and I think that's what you're referring to, right? North Carolina. Um, yeah, California's just got a different flavor, I think. Um, Depending on where you are, I mean, unless you go to like Northern California or like way east, it's hard to get away from a lot of people, from where a lot of people are. But yeah, it's a definitely different flavor. But I do enjoy my time in North Carolina. I do. Let's see. Euphoric liquid. Pretty sure the phrase "on paper" dies with us. Yeah, yeah. D Forest, the small green leather journal is badass. Well, awesome. Yeah, yeah, I'm glad you like it. So, again, this one is made by Jarhead Leather. You can see his logo on there. Jarhead Leather. Um, this active duty gunnery sergeant makes these by hand. Let me see, I got another kind up here. Give me a second. Yeah, so different kind of leather here, not as shiny. And then I asked him to do like a pocket inside on each one of these. So good for gifts. Awesome. I mean, they don't break the bank at all. I always keep a pen with me handy, and usually my pen of choice when I'm sitting at my desk are like these, either this one or my fountain pen. So like this. Got these guys here. This one's Brad. This one's stainless steel. But when I'm out and about and I don't want to lose those because those are kind of pricey, I carry this Skillcraft one. This is a pilot pen. It's got pencil, blue pen, black pen, and you can get them with a red pen too. But they fit perfectly in here. So easy. Fits in your back pocket. Good to take notes. Just a legit piece of gear. And then when I come home, I write in this guy, my Lecturum. Inside my leather cover. But yeah, they're all good pieces of gear. Good for note taking. I'm a big note taker myself. And holy shit, how the hell did I get ink on my hand? Might have been from that fountain pen. These things can be messy sometimes. But yeah, I carry around a little logbook, a journal, any most everywhere I go. Um, at any point in time, like I'll be sitting at the DMV and I'm like, oh man, I this is a good idea. Things I would just look at somebody and things will just pop off in my head. I'm like, I got to write this trash down. Very, very vaguely, I or very rarely do I have something to write down with. So I will just revert back to my notes app, and I always keep it locked up, right? My notes app when I don't have anything, but very rarely do I have nothing to write with. Uh, let's see. None of my kids keep a pen handy. Got to do it. Keep a pen handy. Not only is it good for writing stuff down, um, we in the Marine Corps call it a weapon of opportunity. So it sounds harsh, and it probably is, but it's a real thing. So weapon of opportunity. Pen. Um, let's see here. Marty Jackson, you should offer them for sale, promote him, and make a commission. I need better pens. What can you comment somewhere what those were? The pen and paper you use is important. Yes, it is. Um, yeah, so I will. That's a great idea because I have purchased a few of these little green logbooks and I have given them away on the channel before when I hit a different milestone. I think the last time I did was when I hit 7,000 subscribers. I gave one of these away. Okay, it was like this and I included a little green logbook in there. Um, yeah, that was it. Gave it away. It was fun to do that. But no, that brings up you bring up a good idea. I should do something like that. Dude does awesome work, and he stitches a lot of these. He just got a machine, but he was stitching all these by hand on like a saddle. He would just sit there like with two needles and just stitch them by hand. A lot of work, but we're very well worth it for the craftsmanship. And as far as the pens, what do I use here? The pens. So I have this little. I'm very partial to like brass. I have a lot of brass stuff around. Kind of stinks too, but um, this one is Traveler's Company, made in Japan. I visited their stores when I was out in Japan, so I don't know if you can see that there. Traveler's Company. So and the thick ones that I have here, these two guys. I don't know if you can see that there. These are Covico Sports, like thick brass. I'm not sponsored by these guys at all. It's just something I like to use. So just FYI. Um, if you want to check them out, if not, cool. And then this little one is a skill craft. It's just a skill craft. I believe it's called Pilot Pen. You can find them on Amazon or something like that for like 20 bucks. Um, yeah, it's pretty good piece of gear. And it's got like pencil, two colors of ink. So very nice. Let's see here. D Forest. Well, check these journals out. I'm going to give the daily journaling a go. Thank you for convincing me. Absolutely. Definitely do it. It is it works wonders. And if I I can talk about this stuff all day. The journaling, the writing stuff down, the reading stuff, and then just highlighting things and then putting ideas. When I was going through which one is it? Read a lot of leadership books, and I was reading this one here a while back, Call Sign Chaos. I know we all know Jim Mattis. They call him Mad Dog, but his actual call sign is Chaos. Colonel has another outstanding suggestion. right? Chaos. But in this one, I was flagging things down and underlining stuff and then highlighting a bunch of good stuff and, a lot of leadership stuff. And I write that stuff down in my journals and I try to implement it even after the service, right? When I jumped into a federal position, um, in a supervisory position, I had to be a leader there, and not all my folks were former military. So I had to kind of learn how to lead civilians, like manage civilians, lead civilians. So that was fun. That was a completely different thing than leading military service members or Marines, right? Um, I'll leave it at that. It was a lot different. uh, let's see. What do we got here? Let's see. I just use binders with quality paper to journal and buy label month by month year. Yeah, yeah, you can do that too. I am partial to lecturums. I like lecturums. I don't really use moleskins too much. Not anymore. And I actually had to start using my green log. I have a bunch of green logbooks still, so I have to start using those. Um, but yeah, good paper is key, especially when you get the ghosting on the other side. You write with ink and then you turn it over to use the back page and you get some ghosting. Yeah, I hate that. So you have to. The quality of your ink is definitely something you want to look at too. Like just for quick notes and stuff. I have a large notebook here that I just jot down notes on while I'm live streaming or talking, and for that I use a 1 millimeter pen, one of these, what is it called? The pilots, the G2s, but for quick writing because it's thick ink. But when I want to get like into my journals, I choose wisely. Choose wisely. Let's see, DeForest. Let's see what you got here. Oh, you know what? I want to really thank you all for being like so active in the comments. It really does. I really do appreciate it. It keeps the conversation going, and it's almost like it makes me feel better because I'm not just talking to myself and like staring at a camera. So here, if anybody wants to jump on a live stream, bam, there's the link. You're more than welcome to. Let me see. D Forest, have you ever considered writing down your dreams immediately after waking up? I've heard some say they do that. Never done it myself. Yes, I've done that myself. I've written down my dreams after I woke up. Um, that way, I don't forget about them. But some of the dreams I don't want to write down. I'd rather forget those things. But yes, I have written down my dreams. I do normally keep a little book next to my bed because randomly, I don't know who else gets this, but randomly at like midnight, 2 in the morning, I'll wake up with an idea, and I'm like, if I don't write this down now, I I will completely forget it. So I'll just I'll turn over. I'll just kind of write it like that, and the next morning I'm trying to decipher what the hell I was writing. But I do keep a little journal next to my bed, just in case I come across something. But as far as like writing down my full dreams, if they're significant enough, um, maybe I think that there's like a meaning behind them, then yes, I will do that. Most times I don't remember what my dreams are. Most times I don't. I don't wish to remember those dreams. So um, yeah, let's see, Marty Jackson, and I love supporting those who have skill and make lasting things that are useful. That looks quality and would cost, and the cost would be worth it. Thank you. The names of the pen. It's hard finding a good pen. Yeah, yeah, I agree. I am a big fan. Oh, give me a second here. Got to respond to this. Yeah, I am a big fan of things that last. shoes, clothing, stuff like this, like good leather quality, good craftsmanship stuff. Big fan of that stuff. This will probably outlast me if I continue taking care of it. Like my other leather one, I usually every so often you get scratches and stuff like that. It's supposed to, right? But I'll put some of that leather stuff on it, leather cleaner and conditioner, stuff like that. It's fun to see it change colors. Um, had many pages faded, have faded. Julie cried. Yeah, you got to get some archival ink. Archival ink. Let's see here. Let's see. I need to look at the transcript to see what you stated about the type of things you have your writings in. Yeah, I mean, I can shoot me an email if you want, thegreenlogbook@gmail.com. I'll give you a list of stuff that I use. I don't really advertise too much of it because, I don't have a sponsorship or anything like that. It doesn't really matter. I'll be glad to share that stuff with you. Just the inks. I know like Covico has good inks. I could talk about this stuff all day. Like I mentioned, our Travelers company also has good pens and inks. Um, because yeah, it's something that I love doing, writing and writing down ideas, thoughts, and stuff like that. And after a while, I started investing in better equipment as I started going up the ranks in my military career. Uh, Thank you for elaborating on the dreams topic. I also remember my dreams too often. Yeah, yeah. My grandmother used to have a dreams book in her drawer, I remember. And I remember I told her I dreamt about rats. And she she went to her nightstand and she opened it up. She's like, "You dreamt about rats. That means this, 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 this." I don't know. I don't know about all that stuff. I don't know who came up with that. I mean, somebody had to have made that stuff up, right? I mean, it's just for entertainment purposes for me. Um, let's see. Marnie Jackson. Yes, you will forget it by morning, and very important to write it clearly so you can read it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Half the time, I like to write in cursive and stuff, so, I'll take time in writing my stuff in my journal. But yeah, 2 in the morning, I'm not writing as clear as I'd like to. D Forest. I'm going to write down some topics and we'll plan to jump on Wednesday if you come on around 12:30 Eastern again. You be should be able to break away from work for a time. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So Wednesday, like I mentioned, I was doing this every day. I did a live stream for 9 days straight, and that ended this past week. Just wanted to try it out, and it seemed like a good thing to do. Some folks are jumping on here, commenting, same as you all. The thing is, staring at a screen for like 3 hours at a time and doing it every day and trying to come up with comments and conversations, like my throat started hurting and my eyes felt like they were going to start bleeding. So I didn't, uh, I didn't continue that every day. But I'm down to do it Mondays and Wednesdays. It's very cool, something to do. Gets my week started. Gets gives me a chance to share some coffee with some folks out there. So definitely we'll do that. Let's see. Marty Jackson, appreciate your time and thoughts. I've commented a bit. I would just listen now. I know you are not sponsored, but I appreciate you sharing what has worked for you. I'm redoing my journals. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a big thing I used to tell my own Marines is to write everything down. Um, just their thoughts, ideas, because they'll be thankful that they did in their future, right? Because it does leave something for them to look back on. And I'm glad I did it with mine that way. Like, and I keep them all in my either here in my little library, my shelves, or in my garage. I have a few more shelves where I keep some books up there, and I'm totally glad that I kept those things. Um, And then I actually found my kid going through my stuff, my green logbooks, not too long ago. Like, they always go through all my military stuff in the garage, and he's like opening it up and seeing, I forgot, it was like dated 2006 or something like that, and he's reading through it, and then whatever, he gets bored and puts it away. But as they grow, they're going to look at that and be like, man, my dad, when he was my age, was thinking about this, or was doing this, or was going through training for this, or like, here's his journal during his deployment to Iraq, and here's what he saw, here's what he did. He had to drive a Humvee, he had to go to a Humvee course, a machine gunner's course, this and that. So a lot of stuff left for them to read about. And I learned that from attempting to speak to my own grandfather, and that Vietnam veteran who could not remember the events when he was younger, his own life when he was younger. He was like just pieces of it. And I thought to myself, man, people need to hear these stories. We can't just let them go with these folks. They need to hear it. They need to see it. And I wish I would have asked my grandfather earlier, when he was maybe 10 years earlier before he passed away, on what his life was like when he was younger. Because I'll ask my parents and they don't even know, right? Like, oh, he never told us about that. He never shared that about himself with that. And I'm like, well, probably because you were his kid, but now that he's older, I'm sure he would have loved to share it, but I never got to him in time. Yeah. So yeah, we talked a lot about the journal stuff. That's awesome. I journal every night. At least I try to, most nights. And yes, I use both sides of the journal, both sides of the paper. I do like the dot grid paper most, because I do like to write like graphs and draw stuff on there. As you see here, trying to do my habit tracker, trying to align myself and fix life when I was just going nuts, or thought I was. But yeah, that's journal. I try to write every night. Keep a little notebook by my bed just in case I wake up at like 6 in the morning, or not 6 in the morning. I wake up at 6 in the morning anyway, or like 2 in the morning, and just think about some crazy left field type stuff that I want to look into. Maybe it's a business idea. Doesn't matter. I'll write that stuff down. And then, of course, as I shared, Jarhead Leather's little green leather book. It holds a field notes notebook in there. Compared to my regular Lectrum, you'll see the size. It's legit. But yeah, that's the reason why I tell veterans out there, start a YouTube channel. If you are okay with sharing, start a YouTube channel, start a podcast, share your story. Don't let that stuff just go away with you. Oh, we got Boston Rob here. Mr.
Hey,
Rob, welcome back, dude.
how you doing?
Good, man. How's life?
Good. I would have jumped on earlier, but we had the flea and tick guy spraying, and the dog was going rampant. So, so I missed a few minutes. What is it that you were talking about? I heard earlier.
Yeah. It's all about how starting a YouTube channel has helped me in getting information out. Not just getting information out, but has helped like my mental clarity. It's almost like taking stuff and writing it down, but like in media form, like getting all that weight lifted off my shoulders, and also connecting with folks. Like ever since I started like the lives, right? Like connected with you, with Mario, with a couple other people that have jumped on the live streams. And it's almost like it's another world. And if folks can get past all like these stupid negative comments that people leave on YouTube or whatever, because you don't always have to have comments turned on. it's always, I think it's always good to share the story. And I go back to like when I spoke to that Vietnam veteran, and he couldn't remember a lot of his youth. And I'm like, man, if only somebody would have gotten to you and asked you about this like 10 years earlier, you could have shared it. I mean, he didn't have a YouTube channel or podcast or anything like that. So it was just that. It was sharing stuff. My thoughts of why every veteran, if they feel comfortable with it, should start a YouTube channel or a podcast to talk about their journey experiences, because everybody has a story to tell.
Yeah. I mean, I appreciate it. I've told you before, I appreciate you having these, hosting these opportunities. They kind of make me think of when I was stationed in Seattle. I took the train in every day to work, and I had this cohort of train friends, and one or two of them may have been on the base, but it's almost like we knew each other from our mornings and afternoon commute. But I can't tell you any of their names. We just we met up at the various stops. We sat in the same seats, and we talked about whatever was on our minds, went our separate ways, and then reconvened in the early evening. It was a nice way to kind of decompress each day or get the day started. And I kind of think that's it's similar to what you host in here. We all have the same or at least similar backgrounds for the most part, but it's just a way to kind of break bread, have some coffee, and talk about whatever's on our minds.
Absolutely, man. And then, like, if for some reason you happen not to see one of these folks, maybe they missed the bus or missed the train, then you start wondering, hey, what happened to so and so, the dude with the man with the yellow hat, or whoever, what happened to him? And it makes you wonder, it makes you like care, like you actually give a crap about it. You may not know their names, you may only see their faces, but you wonder, like, what's behind that? Where do they go every day when they leave the train? What's their life like after the fact? I've had those same thoughts on trains myself. Like, I don't ride the train a lot, but I always look around. I'm very observant, just for one, for security purposes, for two, because I just want to see what people, just people watching. And I always wonder, like, what's their story? Like, where do they go after they leave? Where are they going right now? Why are their shoes so worn like that? Or I wonder what this person does for work, but it's cool that you had that cohort, man, like that camaraderie, that shared purpose with these folks who you rode the train with. That's very cool.
Yeah, we all have those natural tendencies to, if it works, we tend to repeat. So I think it all started with that being an available seat every single time, and pretty soon it's the same faces. I remember one of them worked for Boeing, another worked for Microsoft, but after that, I think we just we talked about sports or the news or whatever it was that that we're all interested in. It was enjoyable. It was the best part to start the day and end it, as far as I was concerned.
Yeah, those are incredible experiences. Same as like going on a plane, right? There's been times where I've been like, especially when I was in the military, and I would sit next to these folks. You just get an assigned seat from Sato Travel or whoever does your travel, defense travel, and then you go on the plane. You happen to sit next to somebody, and you just have a whole conversation with them, and just go your separate ways. You just had that. You built that sense of purpose and camaraderie with them. They could be somebody completely different. I've sat next to like a doctor. I've sat next to like some dude who walked dogs for a living in New York. And I'm like, well, that's cool. But you share your story for a few hours and you kind of go your way. But then I always end up wondering, like, I wonder where that person is or what they're doing these days.
Yeah, I sat next to a minor league pitcher that had just been traded one time. And they put him in Gen Pop as far as the plane seating. So I don't think it's until you get to the major leagues that they put you in the front, or at least charter your own plane. Yeah, he was in
I'm sure
regular seated. So.
Yeah, I was looking at that. My kid's a big baseball player, and I was looking at the whole baseball thing, and he asked me a question. This is when I never even looked this stuff up. This was a prompt for me to look this up. He's like, Dad, do you think the minor league players get paid millions of dollars too? And I looked it up. I was like, no, they don't. They get, a lot of them have to have like separate jobs in order to sustain themselves, because they only get paid like 50 grand a year or something, depending on where you live and what the team is, right? But yeah, it's anywhere near like the major league salaries that these folks get. Yeah, so I'm sure that there's a reason why he was over in Gen Pop in the back next to the bathrooms on the airplane.
Yeah, he was seated center too. So
was it? Oh, even worse, dude. Like they really didn't care.
No, they going to some small town in the Midwest or wherever he was going. I don't remember, but yeah, I just remember thinking, that's you gotta earn your keep in the baseball world.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've always wondered about that too. Like these folks who they get called up from the minors to the majors, but until they become part of like the permanent roster, they only get a certain amount per game. It's like a fraction of what an actual contract would be per game. So, and then sometimes some folks from the major leagues get called down to the minors due to injuries and stuff like that. And I always wondered how that worked. Like, do you have to redo the contract? Like, do you just get like a huge pay cut? Like a Shohei Ohtani, if he ever goes down to like the minor leagues, how is there ever going to be a pay cut from his $700 million contract? I don't think so. But
not that he would notice.
No, I don't think. Yeah, he wouldn't know. He definitely wouldn't. Yeah, it's funny. One of my kid's dentist, where we are, we go to the same dentist as one of the LA Dodgers, and then the dentist was like, "Oh, you just missed him. He was just here." I was like, "Really? No shit." Like a main player, right? I was like, "Oh, no crap." He doesn't even live. We don't even live near LA. He just has a house out here where we are. That's pretty cool. But I was like, man, I asked the dentist. I was like, "Can you just let me know next time so I can bring my kids?" He's like, "I can't do that. I can't just tell you when he's going to show up." But yeah, man. So a question for you, man. Have you ever thought about starting something yourself, like a channel, a YouTube channel or podcast or anything like that?
I haven't, not until I saw the title of your episode here. It hasn't, I feel like I'm a much better viewer than host in that regard. Not to say that I don't enjoy calling into them. I just, I don't know if I'd be organized or be able to brand it quite as well on my own. Something to certainly think about, though.
Yeah. Or even jumping on as a guest too. That's how I kind of started my thing. Jumping on as a guest on, oh gosh, what was the one? What used to be, what is now the Military Retirement Podcast. It used to be something else. I forgot the name of it, but I jumped on John's podcast. Oh, it was Retired.Army. Oh, excuse me. And then I'm like, okay. He randomly he messaged me. He's like, "Hey, you want to jump on the podcast? I'd like to interview you." I was like, "Yeah." Well, it's kind of strange because I'm retired, but I've never been Army. But your podcast name is Retired.Army. Okay, let's jump on it. And we just kind of hit it off. He's a cool dude, right? Very knowledgeable guy. So then he's like, "Hey, you wanted to like join forces?" I'm like, well, "Yeah, let's do it, but let's change the freaking name though, from Retired.Army to something else." So we changed it to Military Retirement Podcast. But then it was like being on the other side and getting the questions is just as fun as the hosting, I think, and it gives you a chance to kind of share your story, your perspective, and all that. And that's probably the biggest thing too. Is I thoroughly enjoyed like getting on the channel, especially when I started like doing my military to civilian transition, and I started getting more folks ask me, "Hey, can you be a guest on here and talk to us about it?" That was super fun. So I'm like, yeah, let me just continue going with my stuff. But then it starts getting a little overwhelming when it's like, okay, well, I got to juggle a YouTube channel and a podcast. And then you got to think about, I got to buy stuff to do the podcast, like a light and camera and all that stuff, the mic, and it gets to be a little overwhelming sometimes. But
you guys branded that perfectly, though.
What's that?
The military retirement podcast. When I was searching for podcasts about military retirement, I mean, that's what came up. So
that's exactly the thing, right? Like, there's no getting around it. Military retirement podcast. Yeah, just three things.
It just reminded me of like the old 9X Yellow page. If you were looking for auto body, it'd be A1 auto body because that's first.
That's it. So, that's it.
No, I think it's the perfect title and the perfect dialogue that's discussed on it. So, and I do like the green logbook. That does stretch across the different branches. And if it's the one I think it is, there was cardboard, but with like a woven fabric overlay over them. Yeah,
it's a standard issue, NSN. Freaking, it's got the number on the back or whatever. Yeah,
it's the
standard issue one. Yep, the stock number. Yeah, standard issue one. You get them at the Serve Mart or the stores or whatever. But yeah, I mentioned, I got all of mine in my garage and up here too, like just itemized by date, and randomly just found my kid reading through it all, and that's a big reason why I keep them there. Like, one day they're gonna want to just wonder, what was Dad doing? He was 23. I'm like, hey, just flip this thing open. It'll tell you everything that I was doing, dude. I was at the base theater, probably just dozing off and drawing pictures of folks, the back of their heads, while I'm getting the back and saddle brief from the CEO or something.
Yeah, one of the things you said that kind of resonated was that you have a bunch of stuff in your garage that your kids tend to go through to peruse. I think that idea is what convinces me to hold on to everything in various totes, much to my wife's dismay sometimes, because it is collecting a lot of dust, but I refuse to get rid of them because I do feel like later on somebody's going to want to take a look and see what normal life was like. I don't have any big success stories that are going to get publicized outside of my own telling, so I think that is important to just keep hold on to all those mementos and be able to pass along, my own history. So I appreciated that.
It does. It tells your life story, man. And that's what it is. It's a glimpse into who you were when you were in uniform, right? And somebody's going to want to look at that. Like the other day, just yesterday, I took my kid to a party. It was like a Nerf gun party. And I got him a replica Kevlar helmet. Yeah. And he came out of the garage, and I had these LBVs. It's like the holders for the holster for the magazine pouches and all that. So he's wearing that to put his damn Nerf gun stuff in. And I'm like, all right, whatever, man, wear it. It's cool, And but I have all my uniforms in there and all that trash, my boots and all that. So it's fun for them to see all that and just see like, hey, this was what life was like, just like you mentioned, what life was like, what normal life was like, before they could even remember when they were young. So, my youngest kid is probably not going to remember a lot of the military stuff. My older two kids will, because they've done the moves, they've been around. So, but yeah, man, that's kind of the premise of it all, is starting something so you can leave to the next generation, either your family or military service members, what your life is like. Just there's too many folks out there who are just not sharing anything, and it's just going to go away with them. And I've spoken to people who are like, hey, I don't want to really talk about it. I'm like, I completely understand, dude. Trust me, I understand. You don't have to share it. But there's some folks out there do want to share. They just don't know how. Hey, write it down. Go on a podcast. Go and talk to somebody. There's a lot of stories out there, man. There really are.
Yeah, and the when we were kids, World War II generation were the old men of the and women of the group, who we were trying to grasp those normal stories from.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now it's the Vietnam era. My dad's a Vietnam vet. He was a Marine, and he's 78. So, life is precious. So it's now is the time. If those people are willing to share their stories, now's the time to listen and record them, because before we know it, it's going to be the Gulf War that the old men and women of the group. So
that's
the
right.
Community. So,
you ever thought about sitting down with your dad and maybe recording some of the stuff, or like writing some of his experiences down?
Yeah, quite often. I do quite often, and he's willing to share stories with me.
That's good.
He's willing to share stories with his friends too. He doesn't offer it up, but yeah, he's a very conversational person.
Good.
Overall good person. So yeah, there's stories to be told.
Yeah. No, that's excellent, man. I mean, especially if he is conversational, he's willing to share. Like I was talking about this this Medal of Honor recipient that I met at an organization over at Marine Corps Recruit Depot, and they had like a gala at one point. Everybody's dressed up in suits and stuff like that. They had a Navy Cross recipient. They had that gentleman Medal of Honor recipient, and I just got to talk with him. Very humble guy, man. Like you wouldn't, short dude, kind of bald. He was probably like 5'3", 5'4", not big or anything, just a thin guy, and he was a former colonel, and he was in talking, I found out he lived like a quarter mile from me.
Oh wow.
And I'm like, what? Like you live right there, right by this coffee shop that I always go to. He's like, yeah, that's me. You've probably seen me around there, And I'm like, you would never have guessed that this dude was anything like he doesn't talk about it. He does like nothing. He just shows up to like events, right? When they request him or whatever. But yeah, I mean, he was just so humble. And I don't know, I wanted to reach out to him after like coming up with this title here. Because he still lives there, right? I'm like, hey, I don't know that he has any books published or anything like that. I mean, there's something on him on this Congressional Medal of Honor homepage, but I'm like, I got to sit down with this dude and just have a coffee with him and just ask him about it. Because I mean, his story is already written in history, but I'm like, I want to hear it firsthand from the man. It's this gentleman here, Rob, of course, right? Rob Madrewski. Yeah, I had no idea. Just very, very cool guy. That's exactly him right there with the bald head down at the bottom. But yeah, all these stories, man, is I can't just let it go without listening to him speak, right? And he did give a little speech and stuff like that during the gala. And the Navy Cross recipient also did some too. But I'm like, man, these are incredible, man. I can't just let this stuff go without actually writing down or like meeting the dude or just kind of putting it in my journal. Talk to this guy, sat down with him. He told me stories about his experiences. What an incredible journey, something for my kids themselves to read.
Yeah, no doubt. That's cool. The whole time he lived a quarter mile down the block.
Yeah. And he's like, exactly. He's telling me like, oh yeah, I live by this coffee shop here. I was like, the same, like, is there more than one? He's like, I don't know. And I looked it up. I was like, dude, you live right there. I go to this place all the time. He's like, yeah, I just kind of waddle my way in there and get some coffee in the morning too. It was like, no, like nobody would ever know that this dude's like a freaking war hero standing in line behind him, getting his dark roast coffee or whatever the hell he drinks. So just incredible stories, man. So good out there. But yeah, and I was connecting with folks, other military service members who have YouTube channels, who share their stuff, and a lot, I thoroughly enjoy it. I really do. And I love making this channel. I love talking to folks and sharing their information, or not their information, their stories and all that. But yeah, man. Yeah, have you ever thought about jumping on like podcasts aside from like the live stream here, jumping on podcasts and like sharing what you've done, maybe like Coast Guard podcast or anything?
Time was my limitation before, but now that I got I got plenty of free time. That's something I've thought about, engaging with. I'm certainly not shy to it. I just it's a lot easier to call into somebody else's platform than at my own, in all honesty. So
it is. And it's funny because I'll kick off the live stream and it doesn't start like getting momentum until maybe like 20 minutes in. So a lot of the times I'm sitting there talking to myself doing it, and it's like it seems a little strange, right? But I figure I've gotten this far in life. I'm used to talking to myself.
Well, you do a good job with it, and it might feel like that way to you, but from a viewer, it doesn't. What you're saying has relevance, and it's interesting. So we always have the option of just clicking off, and
absolutely.
Same faces are staying and returning. So I think it says something.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. And then for a lot of folks out there who think it's like a huge lift to start something like a podcast or a YouTube channel, it's not that bad. A lot of what I find, some of the toughest parts for me are trying to find topics that are relevant, that are not like clickbaity. Like, I mean, we've all been around YouTube. We've all seen the stuff like, you click on something and it's either like way political or it's like just clickbaity stuff, or it's somebody who's like maybe half naked on there just for clickbait, and just like, and that's how they get viewers, right? Unfortunately, that's what sells. And I'm like, hey, how do I get around all that and make something that's legit that people want to listen to? So, but yeah, man, it's fun. It really is. And I appreciate you saying that me talking to myself is worth it. Cause it does feel kind of strange sometimes, but yeah, man, it is not tough to start a YouTube channel or even a podcast or anything like that. You can start with your phone. I started with my phone, and I haven't changed my camera here in, I don't know how many years. I've had it for like 5 years. Still works out. Works out. This is one that I had, I was supposed to return to Amazon at one point. I purchased it from Amazon years ago, and the screen wasn't working for some reason. So I was like, hey, let me return this. And I called customer service about it. And they're like, hey, you know what? Just keep the camera, they said. I was like, really? He's like, yeah, it doesn't work already. Just keep the camera. And then I plugged it in to do a software update, just testing it out. And then it started working again. I was like, holy crap, man. It's like a $700 camera. I guess I'll keep it then. Thank you. So that was like months after I just took it out of the drawer. I was like, man, let me see this piece of crap here real quick, man. Plug it in real quick. And sure enough, it started working again. So been using it ever since.
Big picture though, that's comparable to Shohei Ohtani's minor league adjustment. I think
it's pennies, man.
Yeah,
it's fractions of pennies, dude.
In fact,
with this dude,
go ahead. I was going to say, if you went to re-engage and say, hey, by the way, it just started working again, they'd probably ignore you. They'd probably just say, keep it.
Keep it. Actually, we'll send you another one so you'll stop bothering us. Yeah. No, and I mean, if you've ever seen how, Jeff Bezos, and he's freaking filthy rich, man. This guy, he's making like hundreds of thousands of dollars per second, just incredibly, it's incredible. So yeah, he wouldn't miss this little Sony camera that they gave me years ago. That's happens to continue working here. Yeah, man. So what's the plans for the week, man? Monday just started. The week just started.
Yeah, I pulled the turkey out of the freezer last night.
Right on.
I heard on the radio it's 4 pounds for every. I'm sorry, 24 hours for every 4 pounds. I always forget. and we got ourselves a 15-pounder. So,
Man.
So that's should be plenty of time. So Wednesday, my daughter and I are going to volunteer. I belong to a track club, and we host a turkey trot here locally, and it's in partnership with a local food bank.
Okay.
So we volunteer the night before with registration and hauling the donated goods, all the logistics for the most part. And then on Thursday morning, I'll run the race and throw the turkey in when I get back.
Hell yeah, that's awesome, man. You know,
How
how do you cook it?
Oh, I'm sorry.
In the oven or?
Yeah, in the oven.
In the oven
I roast it,
okay.
Slow roasted. I think about 350. So
right on, man. That's good. You know, years ago, I bought this rotisserie cooker.
Yeah.
I saw an ad on TV, and then I ended up purchasing it at the exchange, the Marine Corps Exchange.
I remember they'd have those.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like the dude comes up, he's like, "You can cook anything in this or whatever." And so I cooked a turkey in there one time. It just spins it, right? So you can barely fit it in there. It's just about that size. And dude, some of the best freaking meat I ever had, man. It just sits there for like hours. I don't know. I don't remember, like 6 hours, 8 hours, maybe. I just leave it in there, just kind of roasting, just rotating. So good, man. So I make like turkey legs in there, or turkey legs and pork. So like I buy like the big chunk of pork and all that. Yeah. But this year for Thanksgiving, what are we doing? I was about to go out and buy the turkey and the ham and do the whole thing. And then my wife is like, "Hey, we just got invited to my mom's house to go." I was like, "Oh, I'm not making shit." And, you know, just like, I'll just bring a pie or something. So pie and some wine, some cranberry sauce or something. But no, we're going up to my wife's place, her mom's place. And just hanging out there. They're having a big feast up there. And they're probably like 3 hours from us. So
that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that get to see like toward Northern California, or?
No, it's by LA, Los Angeles. Yeah. So it's right around there. So I get to see, I always like going up there. Like, we don't go up there as often, but I like going up there because I like talking to her grandfather. Her grandfather was a Navy senior chief. And this dude, he sits there and he watches, he likes watching his Jeopardy, like reruns or whatever. You know, he sit there on the couch, and the way his face lights up when I walk in, I'm like, "Chief," you know, just, and he's like, "Hey," you know, just it's fun to see that. It's fun to see that, you know, like he likes that interaction. But yeah, I get to see him up there, see, you know, her family, and then, you know, her husband's family. So my mother-in-law's husband. So we're going to be hanging out with his side of the family. I don't know them too well. I've only hung out with them one time. They have a bunch of land up by Central California somewhere, and we went out shooting out there one time, and they took out ATVs and dirt bikes and just a bunch of land in like the desert, right? So we went out there, and it was fun to shoot and not have to worry about like neighbors.
Yeah.
You know, because there's like nobody else around. So we're just shooting like targets and stuff like that. And yeah, so that's a good time. But
is that like the Bakersfield? Yeah. I mean, obviously not Bakersfield proper, but is that like that toward that direction? Or?
It's kind of, it's towards 29 Palms. 29 Palms. Yeah.
I've made that drive
training base
before,
out there,
and there's a lot of open land that you don't think of in California, or at least I didn't. We were in California for 6 years, but we were in the San Francisco area, the Bay Area.
Yeah.
A little bit colder, but yeah, there's a lot more room than I expected in California for being such a big, populous state.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so a lot of that area, like if you go on Zillow, and I've been before many times to look at land for sale, but it really is just like, hey, we're selling 5 acres, and it's just like, it looks like Mars, right? It looks like just desert, and then they drew like this square around it, and I'm like, what the hell am I going to do with that? Put a fence around it, and just you got some brush here and there, Um, and it's inexpensive, but I'm like, I don't know that I want to own a piece of that desert landscape. There's nothing about it that it intrigues me. I would
there's
much
nothing you
more.
can do with it.
No,
Except build
nothing.
on it. Yeah.
Right. I would much rather go out to like North Carolina and buy like just forested land and build like a cabin in the middle of the forest. I would much rather do that. But it's hard to buy out here in California because things
Yeah.
are so high priced in good areas, like desirable areas. Like where I live, you find no land. And the land that you do find, it's like, hey, an acre for freaking $1,000,000. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that trash. But yeah, it is good to share some time with family, and then I think that's a big reason too why I want to get on these live streams and stuff, connect with like veterans and all that, because as we know, as you know as well, right? I'm sure you do. You've had younger Coast Guardsmen out there, and that you were in charge of, and the holiday periods are always the ones that you need to watch out for. And then I don't know about you, but a lot of folks, like when I was younger, I would invite my younger folks to my house, if they had nowhere else to go. Like, hey, come by, have Thanksgiving, or come by for whatever, Christmas or something like that. They're usually partying for New Year, so I don't invite them over for that. But for the holidays, man, that tends to be like the times where I think folks need the most support.
Yeah.
Because maybe they don't have family, or maybe they can't get to their family or something like that. So that's why I think I've been starting to do a lot more live streams around this time. And for folks out there too who are listening, there's organizations out there that can potentially pay for your flight home if you're like active duty or something like that. And definitely connect with folks who maybe are having some kind of Thanksgiving dinner, and maybe you need somewhere to go. So yeah, it's a big thing, man. The holidays are joyful, but not really for everyone out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man. So that's cool, man. Getting the turkey done. I don't know what I got to figure out what I'm going to bring over to the house, but I figure you can't go wrong with like wine. Maybe bring some cranberry sauce or something.
Yeah,
something super easy.
If there's something,
I'm just happy that I don't have to make the whole thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's exciting in and of itself. And I like cooking, but it's overwhelming, especially if you're cooking for more than. I'm only cooking for my family this year, and that's been our tradition, just because we've lived so far away for so long. We've kind of kept it tight, save but a few years when neighbors or something were invited us over. But if there's something that was near and dear to your own family, that one recipe or that one dish, you can never go wrong with that. That usually pleases.
Yeah. I don't know if we have anything for Thanksgiving, like my family. It was always like we'd always make like there's always the traditional turkey, and then they'd always make the it's called pernil. It's like the pork leg. Pernil, right? So we'd make some of that. You roast it usually. Some rice.
Do you have that with mint, or like mint jelly, or is that something else?
No, it might be something else.
Something else. Okay.
Yeah. So this pernil, it's like what they make like chicharron out of. You ever had chicharron? Like the crispy?
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
Oh, it's good stuff, man. But they usually put like there's a lot of garlic involved with it. Like you put it under the skin. There's a lot of like lemon juice or orange. There's a thing called mojo, mojo. It's a marinade, and it's kind of like a citrus-based marinade, almost like a Caribbean type of thing, right? But we use a lot of that stuff, in my family. So kind of grew up with that, doing like the pork, the turkey. So it's not like a spiral ham or anything like that, just like traditional pork. And what else do we put out there? A lot of Hispanic stuff, dude. I don't know. It's like nothing that like the pilgrims and the Indians would have eaten, but it's just good food all around.
Yeah, my grandmother used to make the Jello mold. So it would be like cranberry jelly with orange peels.
Oh, that sounds good, man.
It actually was.
Yeah.
It looked kind of gnarly, but you'd open it up from like one of those old old Tupperwares, and it would start dancing for you. But it actually was pretty good. And the other thing was a mock apple pie, which
man,
it was a Ritz it was a Depression era recipe, is what it was.
Okay.
When apples were scarce, so you basically make a simple syrup with lemon, and you start dunking these Ritz crackers whole into it.
Okay.
And for whatever reason, they would absorb the simple syrup, absorb the flavor, and taste and feel like apples. So then you'd bake it in the pie crust, and it comes out to be like the best tasting apple pie, even though there isn't a single apple.
There's no apple.
So,
and what's it? I'm gonna write that down.
Every year, mock apple pie or Ritz cracker pie, and it's fabulous. It's so stupid of a recipe, but it's fabulous.
Ritz cracker pie. That sounds like fun to make, man.
Oh yeah, so it'll fool you. It's unbelievable because it just feels like thinly sliced, perfectly baked apples.
Yeah, like the consistency, all that. So my issue, man, is the like I'm trying to keep in shape, right? Because I know where my limits are when my pants start feeling a little tight. And I'm like, I don't feel comfortable. Like I know I start getting heavier and my knees start hurting a little bit when I try to go outside for a walk, run, and stuff like that. But around this time, my wife and my daughter, they're big into baking, and it's like every freaking day. It's like I come home or they get home or whatever, and I usually go outside and play some baseball with the kids and with the boys, and I come home and there's like cookies or a pie being baked or something new every day. And I'm like, shit, and I got no willpower, dude, like zero. Like I'm like, man, I gotta eat this pie, man. I mean, I know I shouldn't, but I gotta have some.
But
right?
they made it, they made it. It's not that store-bought crap.
Exactly, right? I mean, the KitchenAid is going. They're making it. They're putting. I mean, it's made with love, right? So it's good stuff. But yeah, man, that's probably one of the toughest parts for me of the holidays is just trying to keep it together, make sure I don't go overboard. There's been times where I eaten so much, I'm like, shit, man, I don't feel good. It's hard to sleep. My stomach hurts, skin feels tight. So, but yeah, that's one of the toughest, man. Just constantly going. It doesn't help that I have this freaking pumpkin candle that my wife left in here. It smells like pumpkin pie.
Makes you hungry for the flavors.
Yeah, hell yeah, it makes me hungry, dude. So yeah, man, it's the holidays are big, dude. Some of the best times of my life, man. Some of the best memories of my life.
Likewise.
During the holidays.
Yeah,
during the holidays. I think after Halloween, I've never been really big on Halloween. I'll put the pumpkins outside, whatever, but it's always like Thanksgiving. And then I already got my Christmas decorations up. Like I don't like to wait. I'm the only one on the block here that has it up right now. Got the lights up and all that stuff, but yeah, it's some of the best times, dude.
Yeah, a lot of the neighbors have this stuff up. I can see the lights are all going. All the landscapers. That's one of the services they provide. Is hanging up the lights. Mm-hmm. But we get our tree from a local Boy Scout troop. They start selling. I think about 3 weeks, and they're well priced. They're cheaper than they're all real trees, but they're cheaper than the like Home Depot and the big box providers.
Yeah. So
we do that every year, and my understanding is it goes to their troop. It goes to their council. So
awesome.
And it's right down the street. I haven't had a bad tree yet, so we're waiting for that.
That's great
to open up.
I got to check that out myself, man. I got my tree up, and it's one of those like fake ones, that we
Mhm.
have in the garage, and then the light stopped working on it. It had built-in lights, so
Yeah.
the top one, it's like it's not lit up anymore. So my wife is like, "Hey, can you stop by when you go out?" I went and ran some errands yesterday. She's like, "Stop by and see and pick up another tree." So I stopped by Lowe's real quick, and I'm like, $600 for a tree? Nah, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'd rather just throw some lights on the top and just, then it is what it is. But yeah, man, it's those things are expensive, dude. I mean, if I can get a real tree and get that scent too, that's part of it, right? Getting that smell of like the pine and all
Yeah.
the pine cones and all that. That's part of the fun, dude.
And
Part of the fun.
I live in a woodsy area.
Mm,
But the whole town is pretty much wood. So once the tree is coming down, it literally goes off my retainer wall. I just huck it as far as I
yeah.
can, and we have a pile of former trees. Some of them even have some green in them still. It's
Really?
crazy, but yeah,
You should do a big bonfire, man.
I
Get some
thought about it.
marshmallows.
I thought about it. I'd be afraid of taking down the rest of the trees, but yeah,
I can't be doing that trash here in California, dude.
no,
There's too many like laws and stuff like that with like the fires and all that trash. Because I
yeah,
live by these mountains, and you can see. I shared it on a YouTube channel at one point when I was probably like a mile and a half, 2 miles away from like the mountain fires,
mhm.
and I was telling the wife, I'm like, man, we might have to evacuate. I don't know, depending, but luckily they stopped the fires before they got to us. But yeah, it was getting too close for comfort, man. But yeah,
Yeah.
it
Those
doesn't
were
rain
no
that much
joke.
out here.
They
Yeah.
even the I don't remember them being very close to us, not like Southern California, but they were still, within reach. And I remember waking up in the morning and you'd smell like
Yeah.
that soot smell,
Yeah.
that chimney smell,
Right.
and it would create this haze that it was almost like a fog effect. It was difficult
Hmm.
to see, difficult to run in, difficult to breathe. I think the state was putting out um, limitations, like they didn't recommend you staying outside
Oh
for
yeah.
longer than XYZ, just so you
Oh,
wouldn't
it's
be
terrible
impacted.
air quality.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
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 But one thing I do remember is that ash would do wonders to the paint on your car. Like it would when I
Really?
washed that off, it was very, very shiny.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder what the science is behind that.
I don't know, and I don't
It's
know
got
if
to
it
be
was
something.
doing anything good for it, but it was noticeably shiny afterwards.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Oh, right
for all
on.
I know, it was taking off the top coat, but um,
Oh man, it might have
yeah,
been like one of those things where you rub the newspaper on the window and it gets shiny. It gets
yes,
clean.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly, yeah,
maybe something like that.
toothpaste.
Yeah, yeah, man.
Um, no, go
So
ahead.
no, I recall when I was in stationed in Hawaii, and then they had a bunch of volcano explosions on the Big Island.
Yeah,
All that wind, all that volcanic ash, and all that stuff came over to where we were living in Oahu, and I had no idea. I had an allergic reaction to
oh, did you?
volcanic ash, and so I got up one morning and my face was like puffy, and I'm like, "There ain't no way. There's no way I'm going into work like this." Because one, I look like trash, and for two, I'm like, I probably need some medical attention.
What year was that, Vic? Like what?
Oh man, it was when all that volcano, that lava was taking over the Big Island.
Was that like
Uh,
2010,
yeah, I
10-ish?
think so.
Yeah,
2010, 11. Yeah,
I was there as well for that.
yeah.
I was actually in aviation at the time, and that was
Mhm.
pretty tough to fly through. They
Yeah.
called it VOG, that
Vog, yeah, Vog, yeah, yeah,
volcanic fog.
yeah, Vog.
Yeah, I remember that. That was pretty insane. Actually, that was crazy.
It was, and then I'm looking it up right now because it was and when was it? May. Mm, No, this one, no, it must have been 2018, I think. Yeah, when I was out there. Yeah, 2018. So, but it was the same thing, VOG, right?
Mhm.
And the story behind that one was we had gone to the Big Island on a vacation, and it was probably
Is that
February.
Kilauea? Kilauea.
Yeah. So that was the eruption of Kilauea, right? And we had gone to the Big Island out there. You know, we flew into Hilo, which is
Mhm.
right by Kilauea, right? Um, and then we were staying at this little area called Leilani Estates.
Hmm.
So it was like a little community, like right by the volcano, but really nice, right? Really green. It was lush. You know, it was beautiful, beautiful area. And we were renting an Airbnb out there. And I went running one morning, and I came across this house that said for sale. You know, it was like had a little fence. It was 1 acre with a 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom house. Had a water catchment system. It looked to be in good condition from the outside, and I think they were asking like 180,000 for it, right? And I'm like, man, that's pretty damn good for like an acre, you know, in like this lush area, had like avocado trees and all this stuff. And I'm like, this
Wow.
is amazing. So I contacted, we were out there for about 4 days, 4 or 5 days. I contacted a real estate agent on that number, and she walked me around and everything. And I got to the point where I was contacting Navy Federal to go to see about getting a mortgage, like a loan. And I was like, man, we just buy this place and just, you know, come over here. This is amazing, you know? And I don't know, something about it. Like I was about to like lock on the loan and all that. And this was the end of February. I'm like, hold on, let me just do it. Let's go back home, clear our heads, make sure that, you know, we're thinking right. And early May, just a few days later, they had the eruption, they had the lava. That house right now does not exist
Yeah.
anymore. That house is a lava parking lot right now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, could you imagine if I would have purchased that place? I would have purchased $180,000 in just nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
What I
And you
remember
can't
is
stop that.
houses would be built on those I don't know what the term is, but they're basically like fossilized
Mhm.
lava
Yeah,
pits.
yeah,
So it'd be
yeah.
like, certainly not any fertile grounds or anything. You can't
No,
do anything with it, but it looked like
no, not at
it
all.
looked ridiculous. But it
Yeah,
was something that I hadn't seen before.
yeah,
It's pretty
yeah.
wild.
We had rented a Jeep, and we were driving around, and randomly you see like this barren land. It was like all black lava and just a house in the middle somewhere,
Hmm.
just built there. It was kind of weird to see. I mean, it's all new land, right? Additions to Hawaii and all that, but it was kind of crazy to see. And that new lava is sharp too, because it's mixed with the glass, you know, like the lava. So yeah, it could definitely cut as well.
Yeah, it was cutting my sandals. I remember, like
Yeah,
we took a couple of walking tours. I think there were a couple of beaches, the black sand beach and maybe green
yeah,
sand beach. Does that
yeah,
sound right?
yeah. It does.
So kind of making the trek out to see those or see some of the sites. And it was cutting my sandals in half.
Yeah,
We were dressing like we were on Oahu. Didn't realize it
yeah.
was freezing there. And it was,
It's cold out there.
yeah.
It is. It's freaking cold. Yeah. So it's I'm ultimately glad I didn't get that home, you know, for obvious reasons. Um, it's funny how the islands have those different vibes. Oahu's
Hmm.
more like tropical. Big Island
Yeah.
has temperate climates, you know, different climates. And we were invited by the lady who ran our Airbnb. She's like, "Hey, we were staying in this little town called Pahoa," and she was like, "Hey, they're having a night market there. If you want to stop by." I'm like, "Whatever, you know, I've never been out here. Let's go check it out." You know, it was like if you like a farmer's market, but at night, right? And they had a bunch of music. It was around this like big pavilion. And I walked up and I was like, man, I've never seen so many blonde dreads like dancing around in my life.
Mhm.
They're like holding babies on these I don't know, these wraps and stuff while they're dancing in the middle of the dance floor. And I'm like, what the hell did I just walk into? It was hilarious, but it was a cool spot, just very chill, a lot of food. Um, just a lot of folks who maybe are into that lifestyle, just hanging out there. Maybe not so many showers per week, that
Mhm.
type of thing,
Yeah.
But you definitely smelled it in the air. But it was a good time, good experience.
You
My
ever
kids
stay
are
at
like, "Eh."
that army recreational center over on Kilauea?
No, no, I was looking into that one at one point, but we never stayed out there. The only spot we stayed in, military wise, was Halekoa on Oahu.
Oh yeah, yeah. We
The
were regulars
Halekoa.
there. Anytime we had
Yeah,
visitors, that's a great one. Yeah.
yeah. It's right there, right? I mean, it's right next to like the Hilton Hawaiian and all the good stuff. Yeah, definitely good stuff out there, and very affordable compared to like the surrounding hotels. Very affordable.
Yeah, and the surrounding hotels, to include the Hilton Hawaiian, would come onto the property. Go to that. There was like a tiki bar on the
Yeah,
beach. They
yeah,
would
yeah,
they would use that. That's
yeah.
how nice it was.
That's
Um,
awesome. Yeah,
yeah, no, I loved Falcoa.
yeah. And then
Whenever
what was
we had guests.
surprisingly affordable was they had these waterfront cabins on Kaneohe Bay, the Marine base there, and it was surprisingly affordable. I think we paid like $70 a night, and it was the little cabins. Like you got to go across the flight line to get there, and we stayed there for like a whole weekend. Just made like a staycation because we lived on the base, so just made like a little staycation out there. Rented some kayaks and just went out in the morning. And so that was fun. Surprisingly affordable, man, compared to everywhere else on around there.
Was that
They had
Barking Sands or something like that? Or was that
Barking
something?
Sands Beach. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's by there.
Okay. I think we
Yeah,
stayed at those too. My wife and I. Maybe when
yeah.
somebody. Yeah,
They're
maybe when
just like little wooden cabins. You
Mhm.
have to walk upstairs. Yeah,
It was like a private beach almost too, or at
yeah,
least
yeah.
a hard to access beach, right?
Uh huh. Uh
Yeah,
huh.
I
Yeah, it
did.
was. You got to
We
go
did
across the
stay
flight
there.
line.
Yeah, those were.
Yeah. So that was one time I was on duty on the base, right? I was the staff duty officer or the OOD, right? Officer of the day. And then you got to take the government vehicle, do your rounds around there, around the base, make sure everything's locked up and all that stuff. And I went across the flight line and made a left because you got to, go down to Pyramid Rock Beach and
Mhm.
then kind of work your way back up. And as I'm driving down there, I turned the corner and I was met by a bunch of Secret Service agents. And
Oh,
I'm like, whoa, I'm like, what the hell? I wasn't expecting that. Like nobody briefed me on this, right?
I think I know what
And
you're gonna say, but yeah.
yeah, well, no, it was Mike Pence was up there. He had
Oh,
flown
okay.
in. Yeah, he had flown in, and he was staying at the cabin, the presidential cabin up there. And I was like, hey, I got to drive through, and they let me through and all that stuff. They're like, hey, do you have any weapons? I'm like, of course I do. I'm the freaking OOD. I got a pistol on me right now. So I just had to make a U-turn there. They wouldn't let me past up to the cabin, and that's fine. But yeah, man, and then I go back up, and there's on K-Bay, there's a watchtower,
Mhm.
right? It's usually just used for official functions. And I drive up there because I see the lights on. Somebody had called me on the radio. They're like, or on the duty cell phone. They're like, "Hey, the lights are on this tower. You got to make sure they're turned off and stuff like that." I'm like, "All right, well, I already had my other, my SDO doing something else. All right, let me go check it out real quick." Got the Govy, went up there and walked around, and there was a bunch of like these ladies inside this room. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? It's like a briefing room, like where the CO like would brief things, and I look over through the windows. I see these women, like it looked like they were playing cards and shit up there. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And I walk in, and the one lady comes up. She's like, "Oh, hi. Can I help you?" I was like, "Well, can I help you? Like, what are you doing up here? I gotta turn these lights off." And she's like, "Oh no, we got permission to use this. My husband's a major. He's major so and so." I was like, I it doesn't matter if your husband's a major or what, just you can't be up here. Who told you you can be up here? So I had to like kind of report that stuff in, and who knows what happened to this dude. But he apparently gave his wife the keys to this command center, and they were having like bingo night or some shit up there. I was like, "Ma'am, you cannot be up here. I'm sorry. I got to turn these lights off. Let me know when you leave, please."
Yeah, when I was out there, President Obama was the president at the time, and
Yeah,
he's from Hawaii, so he would
yeah,
make
yeah.
his annual holiday trip for.
Mhm.
I remember it being like a month. Maybe it wasn't that long, but
Yeah,
it was an every year
yeah, yeah.
ordeal.
I remember the signs that locals would put out there because we stayed in Kailua a lot. I mean, we were
Yeah,
right there, and the locals would always put like, "Hey, welcome home," President Obama. And we used to go to this little shave ice place,
yeah,
and right there in Kailua, and he would always go there. They had pictures all over the place of him going in there and with Secret Service or whatever security detail getting shaved ice. So yeah, always that was a good spot, man. I loved Kailua, loved it out there.
yeah. We
Beautiful
were on the
place.
other end of the island. We were on the leeward side, so
Yeah,
I was stationed at Barbers, but nothing was
yeah,
far away. I mean, everything was within an hour, so we spent a lot of time at
yeah.
Kailua. There used to be a good. I don't remember the name of it, but it was a steak place, a steakhouse that was.
Mhm.
It was in either Kailua. Or,
It was in Kaneohe. It was called Haleiwa Joe's, wasn't it?
yes,
Haleiwa Joe's. Yeah,
yes.
that's
That's it.
that's they give you the big steak, the big ribeye or whatever. Oh
Yeah,
man,
that's the one. Yeah.
Haleiwa, it has a little Japanese garden at the bottom.
Hmm.
Yep, Haleiwa
Yeah.
Joe's, man. That's the spot. I love that place, man. Just the drive in was amazing. Has all like the lights and all that. The fire burning in the front. Oh, it's beautiful, man. I miss that place, dude.
Yeah, I do too, especially when it's getting dark here at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and it's freezing, So yeah, I miss it often.
Yeah,
I miss it often and always.
sounds like it's time to go back.
Yeah.
Take a visit.
Before I forget, Vic, I
Yeah.
know that yesterday I watched a little bit late, but I think you're talking about ACP, the American Corporate Partners, or
Oh yeah. So they had brought that up. It was
was that yesterday?
I
Or was
got it
that
written down here. That was day before yesterday. I
day
think.
before yesterday?
Couple,
Okay.
Yeah, a couple days ago. Yeah.
Um,
ACP. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the term. Like I have an assigned mentor. I use that service. That's something that I came across. I think it was actually at the TAP seminar that somebody mentioned it. I didn't sign up very early on. It wasn't until hearing it on another podcast that I went ahead and signed up. But it's worked great for me. They assign you I don't know what the term is, but almost like an intake specialist. They kind of get a background, look for like what your goals are, what your objectives, what your background, all that sort of thing. And then they don't promise you a mentor in that specific field, company or practice, whatever it is you're going for.
Right.
But they try their best. And I think I gave up to like 3 options. And it wasn't like, it may have been 3 or 4 days later that I get an email. They found somebody in the exact field that I'm trying to enter in that exact position. So it's a year-long program, but from what I've gathered, talking to other people that have used the service, they've kept their mentors around. Like that's been a lasting relationship, be it texting, phone call or like a Zoom call. So it seems like it's been a success for everybody that I've talked to. I've certainly gained a lot from it. So I'll foot stomp that opportunity for people.
Absolutely, man. And this is a big reason why I do this stuff too, is because I learn about new things all the time. I had never heard of this before, and I feel like I probably should have, given like the amount of folks I've talked to, especially during like the podcast and the YouTube. But I'm glad that I came across it, because I'm going to be using it. I know it's been brought up several times now, and everybody has good things to say. So I'm going to be definitely jumping on this thing and seeing it for myself. Potentially even having somebody on the show about talking about it, right? Like, I mean, you mentioned it, like, from somebody who has used it, but maybe somebody from the program who actually is a mentor. I want to hear like firsthand.
What I appreciate is the mentors that they find, they want to do it. They want to help. It's nobody knows that they're a part of the program, as far as I know, except for them and in the actual the ACP partnership. So it's they're doing it for the to help veterans out and to be a resource. So they want to engage as much as you want to engage with them. Has been my experience. So,
and these are like leaders in business or whatever area that you're looking at.
Yeah. So I had mentioned that in previous episodes that I want to get into the veterans offices of one of the local colleges. So to essentially be a VSO at one of these schools, or certifying official at least. And that's a very unique and specific position that not all schools have. And the ones that do are usually filled from somebody that was also looking for it. Well, I explained that, and I gave a few other opportunities that I would be interested in getting mentored for as well, just knowing that this wasn't going to be an option. And it was. They found a director of a veterans resource center at the University of Texas, and put him in contact with me, and we had an initial call for a couple hours, and then a subsequent call afterwards. He reviewed my resume, found a position locally to at least apply to, and has been reaching out by email, seeing how things are going. We're going to be having another call shortly after the holidays as well. So, they seem to have something for everybody, no matter how specific the position is. So I highly recommend it. I think it's great.
I'm definitely going to reach out to them and start something here. Because I mean, I know, I feel like I know a lot about what I want to do, but it's always good to get a different perspective. I know I don't know everything, right? Obviously. So it's always good to find somebody who's been there, who's doing it, or who has more information on that stuff. I'm always willing to learn, man. I never want to be the smartest guy in the room. Definitely. Yeah. I'm all right with being the dumb dude in the corner.
Likewise. Definitely.
Yeah. That way, just kind of stay quiet, see what's going on, then ask some questions, and I never used to do that. I never used to be like the type to ask all the questions, because I thought they were stupid. And then one day it just clicked. I'm like, man, I really don't know. And it's going to hinder the mission if I don't ask. So let me just ask this real quick. And sure enough, everybody is like, oh yeah, I'm glad you asked that. I'm like, oh, was everybody else thinking this shit too? Yeah. Like, and I'm the only one, and you all made me look like the dumbass. Oh man. Yeah. But that's, no, that's good. Good piece of gear, man. ACP. I'm definitely going to look into that. Veteran mentoring program. I'm on their site right now. Veteran mentoring program. Good stuff.
Very easy to sign up for too. I don't know why I waited so long, but it was in my notes from. I went to TAP a few different ways, or TRS, whatever your service uses for the acronym. But I went a few different times with a few different branches, and That one was being given by an actual veteran. I think he was a retired chief or retired senior chief. And for like an hour, he just kind of spitballed all of these various programs that he's come across to write down. Yeah. And I'd written it down and kind of put it to the side. But once I had time and once I wanted to start entertaining the career fields again, I looked into it, figured why not, and it was a blessing in disguise, is what it was. It's a good one. It's a really good one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm actually I love this kind of stuff, like the mentorship stuff, and actually I had this gentleman reach out to me. I don't even know if he listens to the podcast, or the channel. Reached out to me via LinkedIn, and he was like, "Hey, want to sit down?" Or we've seen each other at different events, is what he said. Want to sit down and have some small talk and coffee. I'm like, yeah, let's do it, man. And I go to events like the VFW events, job fairs and stuff like that. Just I kind of show face, or maybe like, hey, this is an organization I might want to work with or get in with, but. Yeah, I was completely open with it, man. I mean, this dude's Navy retired, just wants to talk, and who knows? And that's part of the networking thing too. Who knows what kind of opportunities can come up from that? It could be a friendly little talk, or it could also be something like, "Hey, I know of this opening at this organization, and you are the right guy for it. What do you think?" It could be anything. And I'm a big fan of the whole networking thing, man. Just getting outside of the four walls and just going to meet folks and talking a little bit, sharing some coffee or whatever the heck you do. It makes a difference.
Yeah, for sure. My mentor with ACP actually opened up his own network to me and identified somebody that's in his position. He's a director at one of the local colleges around here. He doesn't have it. It wasn't for a job referral or anything, but it was just another resource to be able to pick his brain, learn about his journey.
Yeah. Absolutely.
How he got into it. And that's all important gouge for trying to get where you want to be.
Oh, big time, man. Big time. It is about who you know. Like I've talked to folks who were getting out of the military and they just mentioned like, hey, networking is huge, because when you submit your resume, you're a name on a stack of papers. Mm-hmm. Nobody knows you from freaking Joe down the street, right? But when you actually go up and press the flesh and go shake somebody's hand and like, hey, look him in the eye, be like, hey, I'm applying for this position, blah, blah, I'm submitting my resume. Oh, you make a lasting impression with that. That's the good parts of networking. Good parts, man. Yeah. Hey, real quick, let me go on here real quick. Just a couple of little shout outs. Josh C. PNW, good afternoon. Hey, good afternoon. Is it already afternoon? Holy crap, man. I've been flapping my gums all this time. Mo Perspective, always good to have you. Mo Perspective, Vic and chat. Yes. Vic and chat. And Rob. Good stuff, man. Well, yeah, man, I'm wife is texting me here with some errands I got to run, so I might have to do that here in a few.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, Rob, always good to connect with you, man. Always welcome to jump on here and tell me about what's going on. And yeah, let's keep doing this, man. I'll keep doing it. Keep jumping on whenever you're on.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you having me. Thank you.
I appreciate you being on here, man.
All right.
Right.
If I don't hear from you again, have a great holiday. Be safe, and
you as well, man.
Take care of yourself.
And I'm definitely gonna try that mock apple pie, dude. I'm gonna see about just getting the ingredients and just making it. And
it's very simple. I mean, that was the premise behind it from however long ago that came up. I believe it was a Depression era. Recipe, so.
I want to try it out and see if anybody notices. Like, man, that's some good apple pie. Well,
I fooled a few of my daughter's friends. I actually got compliments that it was the best apple pie they've ever had. So, which makes me laugh. So,
oh, that's good. I mean, now I got to try it. All right, Rob, man. Good having you out, man.
All right, take care, Vic.
Yeah, you too. You too. Yeah, let's see what I got here. Yeah, so that's what the channel's all about today. It's all about connections. It's all about sharing the stories. And just had Boss and Rob on, and we were sharing stories about holidays and travel and going to Hawaii and how we wish that we were there right now because it's freaking getting dark and it's getting cold lately. So big shout out to, let's see here, go to the comments real quick. RWD channel 2901. I put my deployment videos to Kosovo in year 2000 on my YouTube channel. They're pretty rare and show the U.S. Army as it actually is, not as the propagandists want people to see it for recruiting. Well, very cool, man. I'm definitely gonna check that out. RWD channel 2901. Let's see here. Josh C. PNW. Love it, Vic. That is what it's all about. Absolutely, man. All about connections, and especially now, as I mentioned to Rob too, especially now during the holidays. The holidays can be kind of a tricky time for folks, veterans, active duty alike. Oh, shoot, even folks who have never served, right? All around. Um, you definitely feel like you need to be connected. At least I do. I don't know if anybody else out there does, but definitely feel like you need to be connected. Um, I was out the other night and it was cold. I'm here in California. It still gets cold here. And I was out the other night and I was thinking to myself, as I was watching this gentleman set up for the evening, I was at a red light and this gentleman was just kind of a homeless gentleman, right? He was just laying on a bench. And I got thinking, I'm like, man, it is the holidays around this time, the end of the year could be very, very, uh, a very, very lonely time, a cold time, right? Not just in weather, but like in feelings. It could be cold. And, it's good to know that there's people out there who give a crap about you, who care about you. So, um, big reason why I'm doing these live streams too, to connect with folks, to let you know that you all matter, you all care, especially around the holidays. It could be a dark time, could be a heavy time, and nobody needs to be out there by themselves, right? Find a place to go. Go. Thanksgiving's coming up. Find a place to have Thanksgiving dinner. Find a time to connect. Um, it can be a lonely time, and we don't want that because nothing good happens if you're by yourself and you got those thoughts. So just want to put this out there. Just 988 is the Veterans Crisis Line too. So definitely reach out to them if things start feeling like they're closing in on you. I'm going to be on Wednesday as well, so definitely stop by if you feel like you need to connect with a community. I'm trying to build a tribe of veterans and even non-veterans alike, folks who want to connect on these live streams. So it's fun for me. It gives me a purpose, and hopefully it's fun for you jumping on and just hearing me talk about random stuff, random stuff I talk about. So today, yeah, it was all about starting a YouTube channel and how that helps get your story out there. It helps. It has helped me connect with folks, the veteran community. It has helped me with my mental health and clarity, and just getting stories out there, getting and hearing stories from other folks too. I not only write in my logbook, my actual journal. I write in this thing every night. Okay, just a leather cover, but I change the inside every so often. I usually like to write in a fountain pen, as I mentioned. I know some folks are asking about the pens and the paper quality and all this stuff. I like to write in a fountain pen in my journals, but I also keep another one around at all times, and that is my little green journal from Jarhead Leather. So little green journal has a little green logbook in there, right? It's not the official green logbook, but it looks like it. But but yeah, writing stuff down, and I come up with ideas for this channel. So it's fun. It gives me a purpose, gives me something to do. I write ideas, thoughts, quotes, messages, things that I want to remember, ideas for the YouTube channel, for the podcast, stuff like that. So it's fun, and that's what today's live stream was all about. Is writing about or sharing your story on YouTube or a podcast. It's not that hard to make one, but you have a story to tell, and people need to hear your story. They really do. I shared a little bit about this older gentleman, Vietnam veteran, who I spoke with, and he just didn't remember a lot of the stuff from his younger years, except for like little snippets of his life. And I sat there and thought, man, if somebody would have sat down with him 10 years earlier, they could have recorded this stuff, put it on YouTube, shared it on a podcast, because his stories are, at some point in time going to go away with him. So, record all that stuff on paper or on a YouTube channel. And this has ultimately helped me in connecting with other folks and building a tribe. Let me go to the chat here real quick. RWD channel. Did you take videos of your time in the military? I did some videos, some silly ones from, when I was deployed with friends, got real tight with my team out there. But not too many videos, more photos. I was always, I never really shared a lot online from my time in the military. It's kind of a different mindset than what I see these days. I was always, I didn't want to post stuff online too much, like on Facebook or, whatever, Instagram and all that. Because I was always, in the back of my mind, I thought to myself, I'm a leader. I was a chief warrant officer. And though I would never put out just, crazy information or videos or anything like that, I always thought to myself, I didn't want my junior Marines finding my channel for whatever reason. Not that I was going to put anything bad on there. I didn't like that idea. And it took a lot for me to start this channel, because I started it while I was at my 19-year mark in the Marine Corps. And just so I can record and document my military civilian transition and let people know what I was going through. That took a lot from me. And I was never one to walk around with my cell phone and just start recording in the middle of the street or on the sidewalk as people walk by. I had, I was aware of that, and I didn't like it. So it did take a lot from me. But after a while, it was like, what? People need to know this information. You don't get all the information from TRS or TAPS. Here's what you don't get. Here's what you do get. Here's how you can make it better. Here's what I learned. So, to answer your question, RWD channel, yes, but not a lot. More photos than videos. So, hopefully. And I've had some folks on here in the chat that says that have said that they have started their podcast or a YouTube channel as well. So hopefully today's conversation has pushed you a little bit more towards sharing your story, because everybody has a story to tell. Doesn't matter if you didn't deploy or were a combat veteran. You don't have to be special operations to write a book. You don't have to be a Navy SEAL to write a book about your life and your experiences. We all know that Navy SEALs love writing books, right? I got a couple here on my shelf. Everybody's been through something. Share your story, at least for the next generation. It's interesting to see military content that isn't for recruiting purposes only. No, it is. It is interesting to see it. I'm not a recruiter. I've never been a recruiter myself. Um, however, uh, I, of course, I served most of my adult life in the military, and I've got kids that want to join the military, and I support them in that decision. My son wants to go to the Naval Academy. I support him in that decision 100%. Um, we've been to Annapolis. We've done the summer sessions out there, and he wants to be a naval officer. So 100% support him for that. It's not He doesn't watch recruiting videos or anything like that. It's just through my experiences, me sharing my experiences with him, and that's what has kind of led him to make that decision. And I tell him the good parts and the bad parts. I'm like, yeah, the training sucks sometimes. You're gonna have to do things that you don't like to do. You might be stuck on a ship, you might get assignments that you hate, but it'll teach you something: discipline, stability. Yes, you get your veteran benefits and all that stuff, but that's not what it's all about. It's about serving a mission that's bigger than yourself. So 100% support them in that. Okay, with that, been live for 3 hours and 5 minutes. My eyes are about to start bleeding here, but you know, I'm going live again on Wednesday. If you want to jump on, jump on. Give me a second here. Let me see. Do I have anything? Okay. Yes, I do have to jump off of here, but thank you all for joining me on today's live stream. And this week I'll be going live again on Wednesday. Thank you for watching the Green Logbook.